From Lincoln, Alabama tonight, the iSuperspeedway.com Racing Series Season 3 on LSRTV. Back at it for the 2015 portion of this campaign for Round 8 of 16. The halfway point in the season coming up. We got the All-Star race in 1 week's time, but before we hit that, tonight is Round 8 with our B and A main format. Returning once again, 24 laps on tap here in just a few moments for the B main, and then a 47-lap A main feature to determine who walks away with possibly now a $45 bonus in the I-5, and as always, the hardware at the end of the night. I want to welcome you to the LSRTV broadcast booth. Myself, Evan Pasoko, alongside PDJ Zeller, down in the production hauler, Laura Lawson. And PD, we're looking for another good one tonight. They've had a few weeks off now, and it's 2015. It's time to get everything back up and rolling, and we expect nonetheless that another great exciting race tonight. Talladega, a lot wider, a lot faster than Daytona, always creates excitement, especially with the draft package that they have on these cars. Going to make for a lot of 3-wide action, which we enjoy, may lead to some carnage, which we'll enjoy, maybe not necessarily the drivers, but looking for a good one tonight.
Should be a fantastic event. Last week we saw Rodney Warford get his way into the chase. He won the race, but controversy ensued after the race. People argue that he was pushed by the number 41 of Elliott Leach to the final two corners. Race control reviewed it, and they did deem that Elliott Leach pushed him through the final two corners. They EOL'd him to the end of the lead pack, so that put him back to 7th. But they still gave the win to Rodney, so Rodney is still your winner from last week, and he is still locked in the chase, folks, and getting closer and closer to the chase. We will see more drivers try to lock their way in the chase, and they won't have a chance next week. Next week it's all about the cash money. It is the All-Star race. These drivers will want to go at it for 75 laps from Daytona in the All-Star race, so this should be very interesting. And tonight, I just got word that 25 cars plus one being the provisional, will advance, and there are about 32 in here, Evan, so we should see a lot of dicey action out here.
That's going to put us right on about a number of 6 or so cars that are not going to advance to the main show. So although most of the drivers are going to be able to make it, and obviously we always see a big pack there in the A main, there are quite a few spots we've seen in the past, PD. This B main, the last few weeks actually has come down to the last lap. Huge wrecks. At one point, I think we saw 5 laps in the span of the final 2 laps a couple weeks ago. Completely shuffled up the running order. That as well, always a possibility tonight. So although you may only have at the moment 20 cars on the lead lap, you wreck and you don't cross the line, it's going to mark you as a lap down. A lot can still be decided. Only way you know you're safe is after you cross that start-finish line. We've seen people coast across the stripe 30 seconds later, kick people out. So the B main is always exciting and always a little bit of a teaser to what's going to be coming up in the A main following that. That's just about twice as long as this one at the 2.66 mile Talladega Superspeedway. Qualifying is coming to a close, and going to run you down through where all 32 cars are going to start for this event in the 24-lap shootout to determine the rest of the field for the A main. Pole position, let's talk about it. The driver of the 23. How about that Rod Flag on pole position? That one, a 49.660, 1/1000th of a second behind him. Jeff Ramsdell, that's the number 1 car in second.
Richard Holliday actually tied Jeff Ramsdell. So at the end of the day, from what I read in the sporting code, that does come down to iRating, and Jeff, I know, does have a higher iRating, so that went to Jeff Ramsdell. So Richard Holliday will be starting in 3rd position, and 4th tonight is Dana Osborne in the 8th.
Behind them, Paul Servant in the number 5 position. That's the 85 car. Alongside him, Josh Ball, the 48 Lowe's car.
In 7th tonight is the 97 of Jason Oltman. Starting from 8th tonight is Mr. Save It himself, Seth DeMarchant.
The number 19 car, that's going to be Brogan Lant inside on row 5, P9. And alongside him, rounding out the top 10, the 25 of Corey Henry.
In 11th tonight is the number 98 of Greg Hooks. In 12th tonight is the number 6 machine of Kane Cook.
Going to be the Kingsford machine, the number 47 of Joshua Williams in 13th position. Alongside him, the 14, that's Robbie Roy.
In 15th tonight will be the number 22 of Ron Thompson. From 16th, we have the number 87 of Ray Rittenauer II.
Jimmy Tolliver, the 13 car, the Reds Apple Ale Ford Fusion from 17th position. 18th alongside him, that's Derek Walker.
In 19th tonight, there's Mitchell Reeves in the number 02 machine making his series debut. And 20th is Dan Harrington in the 82.
Kent Connolly, next row back. The 088 car is going to roll from 21st position. Alongside him, it's going to be Matt Stalkneck in 26.
In 23rd tonight is number 30 of Robert Lynn. Saw him have a great run last week, ended in disappointment. And in 24th, the number 57 of Jared Haggerty.
Matt Bontempi in the DeWalt Tools Toyota going to be starting to number 77 in 25th position. Alongside him, Casey Pierce going to roll from 26. That's the cutoff.
In 27th tonight is number 17 of Tanner Mann. 28th goes the number 33 machine of Larry Camp.
Chad Keene in the Fox machine going to be rolling from 29th position. This is row 15. And P30 going to be Dennis Wright.
In 31st, in the always beautifully painted number 18, Jimmy Todd. In 32nd is number 36 of Sean Turner.
And that does round out the 32 cars that are going to start in tonight's B-Main event. Again, the A-Main still to come at a possible $45 up for grabs. The previous tide in the I-5 bonus, for those that don't know, the top 5 drivers from the previous race, they are eligible, and if they win, going to walk away with the bonus. You'll see them via the orange rims, the orange numbers tonight on track. The previous largest I-5 bonus that increases in $5 increments per week. You don't win, you tack another 5 on. $20. That was won by Brandon Chaburko back in Season 2. Entering this, $45 up for grabs, plus a trophy. If Rodney Wofford, Rod Flag, Brendan Gattel, Mark Jorgensen Jr., or Ray Rittenauer II put it in victory lane. That still later to come in the evening. First, some of those guys need to make it to the A-Main via qualifying through this B-Main. And again, as we said at the top of the show, PD, and as we've seen in the last few weeks, nothing is guaranteed until you cross that checkered flag.
And that is very true. It was insanity. I think, Evan, I don't know if you would agree with this, but I think the last 3, about 75% of the field was taken on the last lap. Would you like to say more or less?
Probably that. We had a couple people that got kicked out of the track. Like I said, we had some people with no engine coasting across 30 seconds later, knocking people out. And who knows, it may be another exciting win. Pace car down and through the grass to get out of the way. Pace car is in. Field going to be in the hands of pole sitter 23, Rod Flag. He sits on that bottom of the front row. Now green flag flies as we cycle out of the tri-oval, come across the start-finish line, and we're racing for the Talladega Superspeedway. First time for 2015, and the advantage going to go to the inside as Rod Flag with help right behind him of Richard Holiday. Going to be pushing him. Outside he got Jeff Ramsdell. That's the GoPro machine, but it is the inside with an advantage by about 1 car.
Holiday can't get too close to Rod Flag there. He can't be pushing in the corners. Now we can off the corner, and they're going to be pushing each other down the backstretch. Dana Osborne pushing Ramsdell in his GoPro machine. Ramsdell is going to try to get to the outside lane, try to clear him. Interesting knowing Ramsdell, he wanted to run the big SOF. He's trying to go pro, and he's actually in position to go pro right now. But he chose to run this race instead, so nice to see Jeff Ramsdell out there racing with league owner Rod Flag right now for position number 1. Osborne giving him a lot of help on the outside, but man, Richard Holiday's pushing Rod Flag on the inside. Holiday's just trying to get up there and give him an old bump, and he cannot do it in the trial, but he can on the exit of him as they go into the line.
Across the start-finish line, advantage still sits in favor of the 23 of Rod Flag at the bottom. You see the 03 push this up just a little bit up on the high side. Take a look at the 8 of Dana Osborne, trying to stay as close to the back bumper of that number 1 Toyota of Jeff Ramsdell in front of him. Can't push. You want to be right there, so as soon as you're off the corner, you're able to make that connection, get the push. Passing is so hard here. You got to time it. A great job, Jeff Ramsdell, trying to hang on hope to see if he can stay out high and possibly bring that 8 car with him. Dana Osborne can't get the job done. Looks like he thought about staying out. Now he will tuck down in line and put that 1 car now to the top as he goes down in front of the bottom. So now he sits in front of Rod Flag, and Dana Osborne kind of trying to get in line. Not enough room. The nose of the 03 car still there. Small bobble. Your leader is going to be Jeff Ramsdell at the start-finish line. Inside now good by 2 car lengths, and it is Osborne who does lead the outside charge.
Yeah, looking back a little further in the pack, the number 02 of Mitchell Reeves is trying to push Jimmy Tolliver and Robbie Roy up to this lead pack here. But I'm hearing an update with the 6 car of Kane Cook. Kane Cook's going backwards in a 3-wide situation. He'll fall in the line on the outside. Never mind, Matt Bontempi's going to make it 3-wide once again. Bontempi up the middle. So this is all back around that transfer position right now. And Bontempi is going to try to hold on. He did not make it last week. He did not make the cut due to the big one on the last lap. And, contact a little bit behind them, but man, there's some rough racing going on. And meanwhile, there's still a big hornet's nest up front.
The outside fighting back. Help from the 48 car of Josh Ball. He pushes the 8 of Dana Osborne through. 48 had an opportunity to get down the line, didn't quite time it right, and Josh Ball going to find himself back up the high side. There's a car length gap between the first 2 cars down low, being Osborne and Jeff Ramsdell. they're going to be able to get close now. There was a small window of opportunity that possibly Josh Ball could have gotten a push from. Now Rod Flag, who's second car up high, not too long ago at the start of the race, led the bottom lane, has since been cycled back. The outside is the passing lane. If you're where that one car is right now, Jeff Ramsdale, all you can do is help that number 8 car. You can't pass. You got a guy inside of you, you got a guy outside, bottom, and in front. Nowhere to go. The outside is the passing lane here, and that's what we're going to see. You're going to see that 8 car. He's not going to lead this whole race. Dana Osborne's going to get mirrored back in traffic. This race still has 20 laps to go this time by, so do expect somebody. Josh Ball currently leads the outside. Somebody at some point is going to be able to get in front of Dana Osborne. They'll drop down the line, and once about 2-3 cars get in front of him, he'll have enough of that, and he'll jump up to the high side. He'll try to repeat that pass. That's what we're seeing Rod Flag do, who led the opening lap of this race. He's now slid back all the way to P6. However, is that P2 car up on the outside lane, second in line. So look for them to try to make some ground. They lost a lot of time that last lap. PD slid back about 4 car lengths compared to that inside.
Right now, the 97 of Oltmann is trying to make his way up to his pack. And look at the third place car right now of Richard Holiday. That car always cracks me up. You may recognize that silver and red car from the Pro Series. Jordi Lopez used to drive it. Jordi Lopez actually sold Richard Holiday the paint scheme so he could run it in the series. So Jordi Lopez basically sold pro car to Richard Holiday here, so that's the way I like to look at it. And I find that very funny due to the situation that went around there as we watched the battle right behind them heat up. Josh Ball, also an interesting note on the ball machine. We saw on Facebook this week he posted he needed to race from his closet. He is in a hotel right now, and he's actually racing in a closet right now, Evan, so not a lot of room on the track or in real life for Josh Ball right now.
Gotta have enough room to move those elbows freely about, but he's getting the job done up at a high side right now. Still trying to get that push from Rod Flag. Great qualifying effort for Rod Flag as well tonight. Kind of consider him a sleeper league administrator, but PD's always kind of quiet, sneaks his way into it at the end. Started on pole position right now, sitting as a front runner at the moment, so he's doing solid. We are side by side all the way through the pack. This lead group goes all the way back to P25. 25 cars separated by only 1.2 seconds. Last car in this lead draft is the Tanner Mann machine. He's actually going to be able to pass 2 cars that last time by. So Matt Bontempi and then Jared Haggerty going to be 24th, 25th.
The 23 Rod Flag is upside down. He got turned and then he went for a wild ride. Rod Flag on his roof. What a wild ride for Flag. I'm going to go back and catch that one. It looks as though he was racing with Ron Thompson. Ron got into his bumper, and it just hooked him into Seth the Merchant, came back across the nose of the 22. It was only them 2 cars, but oh my goodness did Rod Flag go for a wild ride, and that'll bring out the caution.
Small contact, and with this setup, you can't be pushing in the corner. You said it, 22, making very minor contact with the left rear of Rod Flag, and you see that small movement hooked him around. He doored Seth. Seth went down to the apron, and it was a huge impact. Straight up into the outside wall at about 180 miles an hour goes Rod Flag's machine. Upside down, doing about a flat spin over a few cars. Landed on the lid of the 26. Was able to get through without relatively minor damage, but Rod Flag torn up in that one. Ron Thompson as well, the 22, who got pushed back up into the fence as Rod came back across his nose with huge damage. The 5 car, I do believe, going to get a piece of this one as well, just trying to get through that one. That's going to be the Casey Pierce machine. Looks like Kent Connolly may be torn up on the left side as well, so quite a few cars involved in that one, and that's pretty much the definition of that escalated quickly, because out of nowhere, double file, check it up on what everybody was doing, and just got hooked. No reaction time. There's nothing Rod could have done there.
Not a lot he could have done there, but man, that was a crazy ride for the 23 of Rod Flag. Shame we were just talking about how he's running up front. One driver who was involved in that sort of was the 933 of Seth the Merchant. Managed to hold on to his car there. He got a little right front damage. Don't know if we'll see him bring it down pit road. Does not seem like anything too severe that he could not manage here. It looks like he will not be bringing it down pit road this time. So Seth the Merchant should be okay. Actually, no, he will opt in at the last second to bring it down pit road. So Seth the Merchant's going to fix that right side damage. He did get hit pretty hard by Rod Flag, and he knows how to drive around these super speedways, so I figure he is not too worried about this. Although all these drivers are still in contention and anything could happen. Last week we actually saw Seth not make the show, so that was interesting to see in the closing laps of the event. But as we still continue on with this event, just a small wreck, 3 cars got damaged, so Jason Oltmans is in 6th. Saw him moving through the field fast, and things are getting interesting, Evan.
Yeah, to Merchanttown Pit Road's going to be able to pick up one of those quick fixes. Back out on track now he goes. Apologetic over the radio is Ron Thompson, taking the responsibility for initiating that contact. Rod Flag letting him know that it's okay because he's able to, again, get down, get that fresh race car, get back out on track. There is a provisional, which you can't really bank on. We have seen at times Brandon Chiburko be forced to take that provisional if he was not in the qualifying spots. But if you're a guy like a Rod Flag, a guy that's pretty solid in points, you may be able to hope that if something were to happen, you'd be slide back and you'd be able to be outside that top 25, get that provisional. However, if somebody else up there in points with you as well gets stuck back at an incident, you can't bank on it. So they may be okay with it and more forgiving in the earlier stages. If this one gets down to it and it gets really interesting in those final few laps, maybe not so much buddy-buddy when it's all said and done. But right now, no big deal because, again, you can restart this essentially a brand new race. Rod Flag is going to find himself a lap down. He's still in his stall. Ron Thompson and Casey Pierce. All of those cars, I do believe, took tows via the damage that they had gotten, which is why they need to wait for about the 3 minutes or so that iRacing has given to them. They're going to be able to then complete their service, get that quick fix, and then get back off on track. The field cycle's at a 4. Looking for these guys to be able to get back going soon. Casey Pierce is already rolling, getting tires on it, has a fresh machine. If Rod Flag and Ron Thompson don't get going here, though, they may even drop 2 down.
That could be a real big shame if that happens. That would almost completely take them out of the event. The B-Mains, we do know to be fairly clean races until the white flag drops. Then it turns into the ensuing mayhem that we know is the last lap. But besides that, really, these races never really have that many cautions, if any. So, really would be surprised if we saw another caution come out. Or we might see one more, but if we got 2, that would be amazing. Rod Flag and Ron Thompson are a lap down now, so very tough break for them. Don't know how they're going to manage with that. And the thing is, Evan, they're both fairly up there in points. So Ron Thompson and Rod Flag, they might be racing to see who gets the provisional.
And this is tonight, again, race number 8. Coming up, we have the All-Star event, not a points-paying event, kind of like the preseason opener kind of event. You're going for the money, you're going for the trophy, all that good stuff. Lights are off at pace car right now. After that, 3 races will remain. 2 more that feature the B and the A main format, followed by one of the bigger races at Talladega. I believe it's the Draft Hard 300, something along those lines. That's going to be the final ones earning points. And PD, we talked about, and you mentioned guys that missed the main show, rather big names as well. You could even be a guy like a Jeff Ramsdale, as you said, a Seth the Merchant. Miss the main show, your saving grace is you win and you're in. Very similar to the new NASCAR chase system. You get a trip to victory lane, you are locked into the championship. The way it sits right now, 6 drivers are locked in. Josh Hanner, Jaden McKeechin, Brandon Chiburko, Brandon Cattell, Elliott Leach, and Rodney Wofford. There's still going to be, via only 6 drivers so far, being winners in 7 races, which actually is a pretty good spread. The only person that's a multi-time winner this season is Shane McKeechin. That being said, there is still going to be quite a few positions on points, so those guys that can run consistent can bank on points, but there's also that opportunity for a guy that's a top 20 in points, not quite up there in the top 10, to kind of steal the show, end up with a chance to fight for the championship. Pace car down and away, this restart coming up, crossing over from lap 10 to 11, going to be 14 laps to go.
So green flag out, and we're racing here again from Talladega. 85 car to not go at all. That holds up Jason Oltmans in the 97. So Jeff Ramsdell with now no help on the outside, although Josh Ball is going to get racing quick. He takes the hole on the outside. Up to 4th immediately is Ball. So Ball is going to help. He can't do that. He can't bump him. He wanted to get really close and tried to, but he did not. And we're going to see the 47 up here. He's making a huge run. He's right up on Greg Hooks, and he finds his way into the outside line, finds a little hole. And that will bring the 47 up to the outside line to try to help these cars as they bump draft down the backstretch. Holliday's been in 3rd about the whole race. He's still pushing Dana Osborne. Osborne holding strong on the inside with help from Holliday as they come side by side to you, Evan.
Yeah, side by side all the way to the pack, and they're nose to nose for the top spot. The 8 car does work that bottom. That's still Dana Osborne. You're seeing Jeff Ramsdell, though, getting the help from Josh Ball. Josh Ball, kind of one of the drivers with PD that we see week in and out. He's helping people, and he's typically that 2nd car up on the high side, pushing people. They're able to duck down in line. He doesn't really get a lot of help, though. He's kind of the guy that gives the assists on the passes. But Josh Ball looking for a trip to victory lane later on in the evening to put himself into the championship. Sits 2nd on the outside right now. We're pretty much double filely packed all the way through 15th. Then you got some single file that tail out the back of this lead pack that still sits all cars on lead lap strong. Two guys starting to slip back, Jimmy Todd and Larry Camp. They're still in striking distance, but all 29 cars in lead lap right now within 1.8 seconds.
And while that was happening, Jeff Ramsdell and Josh Bald passed Holiday and Osborne on the outside and took the lead, so give it to them, as we are still seeing cars draft all the way through this field. But right now the 47 is charging hard on the outside. That is the 47 of Joshua Williams being pushed by number 85 of Paul Servant. Servant didn't go at all on the restart. We're seeing him start to come back now, cannot push in these corners. Remember, they will get awfully close. Sometimes we might think they are, but they actually are not. And, oh man, they got close there with the lead, but they kept it good, kept it away from each other, and here comes Ball pushing Ramsdell once again on the backstretch. This seems to be a good combination so far in this event. We're just halfway into this event, the B main that is. We still have the A main, 47 laps of pure insanity, as we always love to see with this league. And it should be fun to see who makes it and who doesn't. They're about to decide that here.
Oh, we got somebody wrecking in the back around. Caution flag is out, and down in the grass, Jared Haggerty. The number 57 car turned around. Yellow flag is out. That machine with no front or back end down in the grass in 3 and 4. I'm going to try to find out where this one started as we work on getting that replay up for you. Looks like contact was initiated in corner number 3 by the number 19 car. 57 replay going up right now. You're going to be able to take a look at it. Jared Haggerty trying to pinch down, trying to survive on the outside. 19 pushes up just the slightest bit. That is the broken lot machine. Little bit of net code there, prediction error, turns that 57 car around, and it was an overcorrect that turned him hard into the outside wall. Up on his side, came down, made slight contact with the 96. Seth the Merchant was able to squeak through. The 33 comes into this. He also gets damaged. That's the Larry Camp machine. Caution out for that one. Very quickly again, Petey, out of nowhere, just one small incident. Pretty much one car this time. The other one was 2. It's when that car comes bouncing off the fence that other people get collected in it. But Jared Haggerty going to get the worst of that as he is all torn up.
They'll bring us under caution again. They'll get a restart here with well under 10 to go. They'll probably have about 7 or 8 to go when they get the restart. And man, I'm excited for this last lap, Evan. If you guys will remember from last week, if you have you not watched the B main finish from last week, please go back and while we're under caution and find the video. It's from the not last week, but last year, I guess. Hasn't been a year since we did this, like Evan likes to say.
We got the New Year's jokes.
But go watch that. And the last lap's just insanity for these B-main guys. Everyone wants to make the event, and last week at Daytona, they all wrecked coming to the line, and I remember Jared Haggerty and I think it was Larry Camp thought they were racing for the final transfer position. They didn't quite see the wrecking from them, so Haggerty straight up turned Camp, but they both
It was the final transfer spot at the white flag. They didn't know that people reckon. He just turned him. That's great. It would have been a different story, Petey, if it eliminated the guy, but since they both ended up getting through, it was pretty fun for us to watch.
They both made it because literally so many cars had died before them that the 33 literally could just spun across the line and nothing affected him. I think he finished like 12th. So he went from like 26th to 12th in that whole exchange. But the point is, Haggerty thought he was turning him for the final transfer spot there, and it was just funny to watch. And he even admitted after he's like, I turned him, but it's just fun to watch these guys duel for the last spot. It's always very entertaining.
So working under our second yellow so far in the B main, and after these yellows extend anywhere from 3 to 4 laps, this race already getting down to crunch time with the GoPro machine up on the top spot. Jeff Ramsdell started second. He's been up there pretty much the entire race. This restart now, once we work on it, lights are still on the pace car, so still a little bit to go till we get to that point, but we are now within inside of 10 laps. They always have to mention if caution comes out in the last about 4 laps, it will end under yellow flag conditions. If it comes out, well, actually, it's not going to come out on the white flag because we've seen them wreck about 20 cars on the white flag lap, and it's last man standing at that point, fighting for it and trying to dig and try to cross the start-finish line. So we like to see it finish under green. It makes things very exciting, and these last few weeks of B-Main Racing have kind of upped the bar for what we're anticipating to see. If you haven't tuned in and you're making it, we're making it sound like, we're going to be wrecking and flipping across the line. We have the last few weeks. So even if we get a 3-wide finish, it might almost feel anticlimactic, Petey, the way the excitement has been these last few races.
Well, the way life likes to work for us, I've realized this. If we think something's going to happen, it probably will not happen. They did just waive the 22 and 23 by, so that will only put them 1 lap down. Actually, that will bring Rod Flag back to the lead lap, and the 22 also back to the lead lap. So everyone except for Haggerty is on the lead lap. So we're going to have 31 cars fighting for 24 plus 1 spots here. It's going to be pure insanity in these closing laps. And Evan, I was just saying, you know, since we expect it to happen, it probably won't happen. And these are the type of wrecks that happen too, where a lot of guys will still wreck across the line. So it's not like the bad type of wreck, it's the entertaining wreck where you watch drivers give it their all.
Yeah, even if the track is blocked and you're coming to that checkered flag,
you're
not slowing down and trying to, you know, go around it. You're trying to go through it, and you hope, and sometimes you're going to be driving, you know, right at somebody's door, and you're just hoping that that car's going to spin right when you come through, and, you know, you can go flying through it, sometimes spinning through the grass, trying to get up there. Jared Haggerty going to give get a wave round, race control giving him that, so believe that may be able to actually get it back to the lead lap as the lights still sit on top of the pace car right now. I'm going to give you some last week's results when we have the opportunity under the caution flag from round 7. That one way back on December the 19th of 2014. Last time we were out at Daytona, Ronnie Wofford again was able to take it to victory lane and lock himself into the chase for the championship. Ray Rittenauer the second came home with a P2. Brandon Cattell would round out the top 3. He's already been to victory lane on the year. Mark Jorgensen Jr., 4th. Rod Flagg with a P5 in that. Kane Cook, Elliott Leach, 6th and 7th. William Roberts Jr. at 8th. Remote Evans, 9th. And Jimmy Tolliver would round out the top 10 in that. Rodney Wofford leading the most laps en route to victory lane. He led 21 of the main event laps.
So as usual, just, man, entertaining, and you never know who's going to win these races. And you don't even have to be high in points. For example, a lot of the drivers who have won races are high in points. One I like to look at, though, is Elliott Leach. He's somewhere deep in the 15s, and he wouldn't make the chase on points. He's too deep in the field, so the Leach machine is one who needs to win a race. And likewise in this race, some drivers need to win a race. Jeff Ramsdell has no chance to make the chase if he doesn't win a race. Joshua Williams, Paul Servant, Richard Holliday, Robbie Roy, Jason Oltmans, Dan Harrington. So that's 8 out of your top 10 drivers that if they don't win a race, they're not going to make the chase here. So certainly these guys are hungry to win a race here.
So we're going to get a restart coming up from lap 17, crossing over to 18. Just going to be outside of 5 laps to go. So there is a small opportunity for them to pile them in however many cars they feel like they should, and then still have the opportunity to go back green. If we get down to 4 to go again, it could end under yellow flag conditions, which is why, you know, in iRacing with the lack of green, white checkers, a lot of the time the question is, do you want to be second, do you want to be first? Coming to the, the checkered flag at a 4. Once you get to the white flag, it can make sense, but it's really hard to kind of sit back and wait in that P2 position and not make a move. Not so much the B main, but we'll see it later on the A main. You really got to dig once you get into that window, because that caution could come out at any moment. You can't bank on sitting around, and if a yellow comes out before the white flag, you're going to get a green, white checker restart. From 5 on, anybody could win it at any point, which makes it very exciting. That more for the A main. The B main, again, we have to look around that transfer spot around P25 plus 1. Down there where the cutoff is going to be provisional wise. Looking back, we see Rod Flagg back there, Jared Haggerty, Ron Thompson, Casey Pierce, Tanner Manning, Larry Camp. Those are all big names outside of the cutoff right now. That one going to be up in the air, and it's probably going to be very close on provisional points. Pace car down and away, restart coming up. Ramsdell still in control. Josh Ball on the outside. That's the Lowe's 48 car who leads the top lane charge. All cars are still on the lead lap, 32 of them. Gonna duke it out. Is this the final restart? Green flag in the air out of the triangle. Small Pavel, the 48 slides up a little bit, and the 8 car giving him all the help that he can. That's Dana Osborne trying to give Josh Ball a run off the restart, nearly being able to get clear on Jeff Ramsdell. The 1 car keeps the nose at the quarter panel, and now with help from Joshua Williams, we'll go back a little bit on. We got trouble back to back, huge wreck.
It's a big one. It's a big
Chad
one, folks.
Keen's up
oh
and
my
over.
Goodness. Chad Keen up and over, and that is not a good scenario in the back. That's the 96 machine of Keen. And we're going to see what happened here for you, folks. He had to immediately reset, but that was in the back of the pack. And here's what happened, folks. So they were racing hard, and there was a checkup. The number 30 machine, as you will see the replay go up, the 30 machine of Robert Lynn checked up. The 96 had checkup. He went up the racetrack, but in front of him, the number 36 spun out, and he just clogged the racetrack, took the 96 in it. Seth the Merchant got involved, but the 96 went for a wild ride. That was a big one in the back, and oh my goodness, that took out some contenders here.
Yeah, that 36 of Sean Turner just wasn't quite on the line, and he's having a discussion right now with Kane Cook. He slid up a little bit, Petey. He was kind of off of that white line. Still technically the middle lane, but it's coming down to the end of it. The 6 was kind of undecided on either trying to go and split that gap or staying behind, and because the 36 was a little bit staggered compared to where everybody else was, made contact with that left rear. And now, I just said that the 36 and the 6 cars were discussing over the radio. Well, the 6 obviously has said a few choice words, and he's actually been removed from the race, immediately kicked from the server. So we only know officially that one car's not going to be able to make it to the A main, and that's the Kane Cook entry. He's gone.
Another entry is Mr. Save It himself, Seth Damershant. He's not going to be in the A main tonight. He is
Brad Keane
DNF.
has disconnected as well, so 3 guys going to go in total.
Man, that's a lot of good cars that are not going to be in the A main tonight. But we said it happens every week, and it could happen any week here. It just sometimes things like that will happen. And right now, what I'm seeing, we're going to have 28 cars in the lead lap racing for 25 plus 1 spots. I do not really know who would go to at this point. I think Rod Flag. But so 25 plus 1, and this is going to be entertaining to watch here, folks. We have a lot of new guys up here in the mix. Along with them includes Jeff Ramsdell. He's ran only 2 races in this series. Josh Williams making his first or second start here tonight. And Paul Servant making his debut. Jason Oltman's making only one of his first few starts. Mitchell Reeves making his debut. Matt Stallneck. We just have a lot of guys out here that are new up here in the running. And sure, this is only the B main, but the B main gives us a lot of action. And one thing to note, guys, we're going to have about a 3 or 2 lap shootout here. So not only will it be insane, a caution will end the race, Evan.
Yeah, so they did wreck fast enough that it is going to give us the ability to go back green flag racing and have the opportunity to duke it out once again. Josh Ball may have things going his way. I talked about, and it seems every week, that he's the guy pushing again. The way the draft works, for those that may not be unfamiliar with the draft package, is they run a very aggressive set. You cannot push in the corners or through the tri-oval. Maybe a little bit more of a factor here as opposed to Daytona, because the tri-oval's coming up to the start-finish line as opposed to Daytona. Once you hit the tri-oval, you're pretty much at the start-finish line. You got to be careful leaning on each other. And they can crack down on you. They'll hit you with the DOL. I know, Pete, you were talking about that earlier. So you got to watch that line that you walk in that regard. So, you got to be able to push. A lot of the guys that have gone behind the wall, they used up their quick fix and, have had the ability. But I'm talking about Josh Ball because, again, the guy on the inside, you're leading that, you're staying there. Typically, 1 cars, very rarely we see 2 be able to hook up and actually both of them get clear, tucked down in line. The 48 Pete, it always seems he's the second guy in line up high, pushing, and he gets left. Maybe in the B main, not so much because the top 5 is not really that brutal. But the A main, there's not a lot of loyalty even with teammates. As soon as you get clear, you're gone and you're leaving that guy up high to dry. And he'll remember that because once he gets a push, he'll cut right back down in front of you and take that top spot away.
Remember, folks, after this is not the A main, this is the B main. After this, there is an A main. Usually the A main, whenever they're the shorter races, they go very, very cleanly and caution-free. Should be fun to watch that race. And it's going to be very interesting. So hopefully we'll get a good race out of that one tonight. And this is probably our only league, I'd say, Evan. Some of our leagues run late, but this is, for the most part, as we get one to go on the pace car, this is, for the most part, our biggest primetime league. This is the only league that we really ever see run past midnight. So for all you primetime viewers, thanks for coming out. We really appreciate the fans who watch us in the late hours of the night. And you couldn't choose a better league. Come watch with us.
Yeah, it's not so bad for me. I'm on the West Coast, so it's only like 7 o'clock. But once we get to, it's sometimes even 1 in the morning for some of their endurance races on the East Coast. People sticking with us. I'm not sure if it's just me, for the off break, but 36 people right now tuning in live. So we are obviously keeping an update, keeping an eye on the chat. So appreciate everybody, as you said, Petey, for tuning in and keeping the conversation active. Still a lot more racing to come, as this one's going to be coming up. 3-lap shootout. Do we make it to the white flag, or do we wreck them again? And do we wreck them even bigger than we already have? It seems like the wrecks are getting bigger and bigger as this race has gone on. So going to be fun to see how this one goes down. Does Josh Ball, does Jeff Ramsdell get it? They've been up front the whole race longer. Does a guy like Joshua Williams, the 47 machine, started in 13th position. He's the only guy that has not been a top 10 car at the start of the race right now, inside of the top 6. Could he steal it as well? We're working through 3 and 4 right now, and again at the start-finish line, 3 laps will determine it. You got to make it at least 2 if you want to finish under green.
Yeah, but I don't think we have it so bad. There's a pro driver who has to race at like 3 in the morning, I think. And I think he won the Watkins Glen race at 11, so it made it all worth his while. Yeah, Team U Ivavin, that is. So we don't have it so bad as we get ready for another restart here.
Pace car down and away. Who's going to be in one piece in 3 laps from now as Josh Ball leads us through the tri-oval. Green flag gets set to fly for the flag set again. Unlike at most tracks in the super speedways, there's really no advantage in jumping. You got to wait till the green flag is thrown. There it is now, back and away. And the outside once again with a better start. Jeff Ramsdale's got help. Can he get clear of the 48? He's cleared as he tucked down in line right now is the question as we go into 1 and 2. No, he leaves the door open for too long.
Jeff Ramsdale did not think he was clear, so he's going to need Dana Osborne to get there quick. Osborne's going to try to get to his bumper here, and he will. Can he push him in front of Josh Ball? Will he get there? They're going to go down the back stretch, and Evan, and will he wait for Dana Osborne, or will he take the 48 with him?
They both got it.
They both get clear. Booyah, they found a hole.
You don't typically see that, as I just said, both guys being able to get clear, but the 8 machine has done a good job. I saw him, he was really all over the back of a car earlier in the race, timed it perfectly at a 2, and he's going to be able to push Jeff Ramsdale at the top spot. He's going to move himself in a second, and now Dana Osborne has an opportunity to make a move. Outside lane now, sits 5 cars back at the bottom at 2 laps to go. The car leading that charge is the 03 of Richard Holliday. He's got help with the 85 car of Paul Servant.
Paul Servant pushing the 03 of Richard Holliday. Holliday is trying to make his way to the front. Josh Ball pumps out of line. Josh Ball is going to come to the outside. He wants help from the Holliday machine and Servant. 3-car draft line on the outside. They're going to have help from Greg Hooks quick. They're going to be side by side with Ramsdale and Osborne going into 3. This is exciting, Evan.
Coming down white flag this next time. Do we make it that far? Keeping an eye on the transfer spot. There's about 3 people on the lead lap that aren't going to make it. They're still scrapping for it back there. Ramsdale leads a huge run now for the 48 of Josh Ball. He jumped up from the outside lane, got in front of the outside charge that was led by Holliday, and now Richard finds himself pushing the 48 dead even at the start-finish line. Still give it to Jeff Ramsdale. 2.66 miles to go. We'll race it through.
Still got turned. He's turned. He saved it. Everyone saves it behind him. Now it's between Ball and Holliday to battle for this win. Who's going to get it? Will Holliday make his move? He goes to the outside. He's on the
wrecking
outside
behind him. The 19
Contact
of
the
Broken
leaders.
Lost. The 13's wrecking down the back straightaway. 4 cars more. The 22, the 18 are wrecking. That's going to be enough to possibly shake up that transfer spot. Meanwhile, battle for the lead. The 03 works the outside lane. He's got help from the 85 machine up high. They're going to come at a quarter 4 for the final time. 3 wide to the bottom goes the 98 of Greg Cooks. They have no help, though. It's not going to be enough. Checkered flag in the air. 3 wide for second. Give the win to Richard Holliday at the start-finish line.
They're wrecking
behind them. We're still wrecking. We had about 7 cars wreck on the back. We're wrecking into quarter number 1. Who makes the cutoff? As a couple people still limping. A few guys had the toe. They're not going to make it.
So Richard Holliday wins. Now it's
we're flipping in quarter 1. That's the 36.
Which car can limp it back first, just like last week? There's cars resetting, cars everywhere. The 19 car is still on the track. He crosses the finish line, and he will get the final 26th spot. So the wrecked 19 machine brings it home, and we said it before, Evan, never give up, keep your foot in the throttle, and you might not have a motor, but you can still get to the finish line and transfer.
Well, they wrecked big and they wrecked hard on the white flag. That's about 3 weeks in a row. You're going to get a look at a couple of replays in all of this. And again, there was about 3 guys on the lead lap on that white flag lap, at least coming across the stripe to take the white flag, that would have been out. We had a few cars wrecked, many of which would not make it all the way back to the start-finish line. So now because of that, again, a couple of people being DNF'd per se, they will drop their lead lap status. A guy like a Jimmy Tolliver, a Jimmy Todd, they both officially finished 1 lap down, 28th and 29th, still possibly eligible for that provisional, which we're going to have to wait on race control to get official word on who's going to be able to get that final ticket, Petey. But again, people limping across the start-finish line multiple seconds after the start of it all. And another wild finish to the B main. That was just a warm-up. We're racing for a trophy, some hardware, cash as well, still coming up later on in the evening. So that was just a teaser.
So pure insanity there. And how about the move by the 03 of Richard Holliday? He get it 3 wide on the way outside, and we actually have the opportunity to talk with our winner. I heard you're down in pit road with the B main winner, Evan.
Here we're going to catch up with him, and we're down with the driver of the 03, Richard Holliday. Well, they were 3 wide for second behind you, Richard, but you used that outside. You had some help behind you to get the job done. Things got pretty exciting down in 1 after you guys took the white flag. How were you able to secure it? I know it's not for points, it's not for the hardware tonight, but it's going to give you that much more of a confidence booster going into the main event.
Yeah, Evan, there was a big wreck in turn 1 on the white flag lap, and I was in the high side, so I missed it. And then the guy in front of me, I was going low on him, and he went to block. And when he blocked, I went to the high side, and the 85, I think, followed me and pushed me to the win.
You're able to get the job done back out at Talladega, where we have been already this past season to places, obviously Daytona, Talladega, alternating in and out. You're yet to go to victory lane. It's one of your still early amount of starts here in this series. Knowing that you can go into an A-main, possibly take home a checkered flag, get into the championship versus some of the guys that have a lot more starts than you. They have a lot more points accumulated, but because of that win in you're in mentality, how do you approach this A-main? It's going to be a lot longer, 47 laps in length. You know you can get the job done. It's just about executing.
Yeah, I just need to go for the win. Otherwise, I don't think there's a chance of me making the chase.
Well, you're going to be hunting down that checkered flag later on this evening. That race is going to be coming up in just a couple of moments. But you got the B-main done. And, Richard, before we let you go down and get that car prepped up for the main event tonight, anybody you want to throw a shout-out to?
Yeah, Bull Ring Racing in our league that we run, sponsoring the car, and all the guys down at Big Block Motorsports.
All right, well, once again, congratulations and good luck. Still a lot more racing to come tonight.
Thanks, Evan.
So that is your winner tonight in the B-main. Again, officially, we're about a third of the way through the action tonight. That was just a warm-up for what's to come, PD. The B-main was exciting as always, and they're really starting up the bar. Exciting for us, maybe not exciting for some of the guys that got wrecked out, because this is a few weeks in a row that we've seen people, they were in, and they come up either 2.5 miles short or tonight 2.66 miles short of being able to fight for the hardware.
Yeah, that was just fun to watch. You know, we saw the typical big one and some guys trying to limp it back to the line. We saw a 3-wide pass for the win. We saw racing. We saw everything we expected to see and more of it, and now it's just time to go to the A-main.
Yeah, race 1 is in the books. Race 2 going to be coming up 47 more laps from the Talladega Super Speedway. Going to step away from the microphones for just a moment. Everybody go refill your refreshments, grab some more popcorn, because it's still going to get much more exciting tonight from Talladega. You're watching the iSuperspeedway.com Racing Series Season 3. Don't go anywhere. A-main action coming up. Back live from the Talladega Super Speedway in Lincoln, Alabama. You're watching the iSuperspeedway.com Racing Series Season 3 on LSRTV. A-main action coming up. Thanks for sticking with us on this Friday evening. First time in 2015, we're back on track with the Super Speedways on Friday evening. Devin Pozzocco, PDJ Zeller with you. Laura Loss, as always, in the production hauler. And for the about third time in a row, we wrecked half the field on that last lap of the main there, PD. Always exciting as it has come to be these last few races. Now we get down to business. Now, if for those who haven't tuned in or don't follow weekly, when we say there's hardware and you're fighting for the hardware, literally you're going to get a trophy if you win this race. For every race, you get to walk away with some hardware. And again, 5 drivers have a shot at $45 cash. That's not bad at all.
Elliott Leach took a Indy 500-esque picture with his trophy and posted it on the iSuperspeedway TV racing Facebook page, so you can watch Elliott Leach romancing his trophy if you tune into that page at all.
Yeah, I don't have any trophies to take pictures with, but I have a microphone.
Womp, womp, womp.
Well, somebody's going to either add another one to collection, or do we see a first-time winner?
Not Evan.
Possibly. Not me. That's not possible for the broadcast booth. I'm pretty sure we tried that once and PD wrecked me. Anyways, on the grid for the A-main, the winner of the Dash for Cash earlier, William Roberts Jr. is going to start on pole. Into number 9, Monster Energy, Welland Toyota, Lucas Huffman. In the 09 car, going to be P2.
Ramon Evans starting in the 3rd position. And in 4th tonight, Brandon Chaburko in his number 3 car is going to be fighting off the haters.
I need to continue the shout-out to that Borla exhaust number 83 because that is the best paint scheme in NASCAR. Shane McEachin going to be starting P5. That's the inside row 3. Josh Haner in P6. That's the Exalta machine.
In 7th, hey, this was familiar from last week. Last week's winner, Rodney Warford, starting in 7th. And last week's almost runner-up, Elliott Leach, in 8th.
Michael Lathrop, the number 86 Sofa King Chevrolet, going to be starting ninth. This is row number 5. Alongside him, rounding out the top 10, it's Richard Holiday.
In 11th tonight is the number 83 of Paul Servant. In 12th is 40 of Josh Ball.
Greg Hooks in the Napa Auto Parts Chevrolet, going to be 13th. 14th to Dan Harrington.
15th to Jeff Ramsdell, made an amazing save at the end of last night. A few minutes ago is B Main, and then 16th is the number 47, Joshua Williams.
Bud Light Platinum number 25 machine of Corey Henry rolls from 17th position. Alongside him, Matt Stallneck in 18th.
In Robbie Royals number 14, Full Metal Jacket machine is going to be starting in 19th. 8th goes to Dana Osborne in the number 8.
Casey Pearson, the throwback Rainbow Warrior DuPont finish there, the number 5 car in 21st position. 22nd, Mitchell Reeves. Matt Bontempi going to roll from 23rd. That's the DeWalt machine. 24th, Derek Walker alongside, and Larry Camp, P25.
26th to Ray Rittenauer the second. 27th to Tanner Mann. 28th to Sean Turner. 29th to Kent Connolly. And rounding out your top 30 is League owner, number 23 of Rod Flagg.
Dennis Wright in the Binford 54 car, going to roll from 31st. 32nd in Jared Haggerty. That's the Power Rangers for Jason Altman's 33rd position. 34th, Robert Lynn. And rounding out the field in the Kellogg's number 18 Toyota, Petey's favorite design on track, that Camry rolls from 35th. It is Jimmy Todd. One other car that may show up on the ticket, the number 19 to Brogan Lot, did not transfer. His car is currently being scored, and that is going to be taken care of via race control, as he did not qualify from the B main. However, is on track. He's going to pull off, so he is not going to be there. 35 cars is going to be the amount that we're going to get for tonight's race. Pace car already off and away. 47 laps to determine who walks away with it all. As we get set, the car in control is the number 9 William Roberts Jr. Rounding through the tribal green flag here, we're A-Main Racing from Talladega.
A-Main Racing from Talladega. Immediately, the 09 and the 3 of Chaburco on the outside. That's Lucas Huffman in the 09. He's going to try to battle for this lead with the 9 car of William Roberts Jr. You cannot push in these corners. That's a league rule. If you push, you will be penalized. Frank Busilia III is watching over right now. So we are watching these guys go at it right now. Lucas Huffman, interesting to note, we actually see a lot of guys that are crew chiefs from the Pro Series in this league, such as Lucas Huffman and Matt Bontempi. So always interesting to see the crew chiefs race. And right now, one's trying to take the lead here, Evan.
They might consider themselves very interesting to see driver's crew chief, depending on how you ask them. Nonetheless, they're out here. We've got 2 NASCAR paint schemes side by side. That's going to be a battle for about 4th and 5th position. As I said, the 83 of Remote Evans sits there. That's the Borla Exhaust Toyota, and it is the number 21 of Josh Hanner up high in the Exalta car. That outside lane with a huge run, Chaburco pushing it, nearly gets chopped off, went down to the bottom, wanted to bring Lucas Huffman with him, and almost hesitated too much was Huffman, Petey. Nearly cut down on the nose of Chaburco. Small checkup there. Big gap now between the 9 and the 83. Big checkup now back to back. Caution flag is out. Somebody's wrecking at it too.
Wasn't necessarily a big wreck, just a 1-car wreck actually.
There's like 4 or 5 cars around down the back. A few of them are into the inside wall. Yellow flag is out. The 87 car, the 33 is stopped on track. So looks like, Peter, you may have seen a secondary incident there. So it looks like 1 car got spun off, which is what you were looking at, and about 5 more kind of all got turned around. A few of them in the inside wall. I see Bontempi, the 54, the 088, the 30 cars way out of line, trying to get around it. Rod Flagg went all the way down to the wall, trying to get around that one. So caution is out very early in the AMA. Don't typically see that.
So one of them crew chiefs I was talking about, Matt Bontempi with some serious nose damage. This is very uncharacteristic of these races. Normally we do not see these guys wrecking early in these events. These are very normally clean A-main races, so shouldn't expect to see too much of that tonight. That was just a little trouble to add in the back. Shouldn't carry over too much further into this, and we're getting ready to move forward. One thing I would like to note right now is the 8 machine, Dana Osborne. You guys usually see him. They are not allowing that machine to race tonight due to the wreck on the last lap of the B-main. They consider that too out of hand, and they penalized him by not racing tonight, Evan.
So he's not going to be able to roll through into this event. The Broken Lot number 19 car as well, not supposed to be there. So although he will show up on the ticker, as well as Dana Osborne, it is going to be a 34 car race tonight. Larry Camp, who sits 34th right now, is on pit road with heavy damage. You got Matt Stallneck there, the 26 machine, just now exiting pit road. Dan Harrington is on pit road as well. So quite a few guys had to come in down there for service. Already some of those guys having to burn up a quick fix, which, as we saw in the B main with guys like Seth the Merchant, you don't want to use those too quickly. Although you kind of have them to sit back on, you never want to bank on using up your quick fixes. Always want to keep them in case something happens, because again, you make very small contact, even a bump drafting thing, get a little bit of damage for some reason come down pit road. Even if you don't select it to, or you may say that it's fine, it's going to take that quick fix away from you, fix that small amount of damage. So sometimes it's going to be taken away without your willingness to do so. So you never want to have to use this up, especially on lap 2.
You do not want to use it. Quick repair here early in this event, so these drivers are going to be trying to avoid using that. Some drivers already had to. One thing, though, that's going to stay consistent is Lucas Huffman leading this race. This is a one-stop race, so we're going to see these guys bring it down pit road once. I remember a few weeks ago we had a race that went caution-free until 5 laps to go, so that was a very unfortunate sequence of events. That will obviously not happen here tonight again, but I expect to see them get together here very shortly and race through. Already some early movers. That would include Josh Hayner all the way from 6th up to 3rd. Richard Holliday, the B-main winner, up from 10th to 7th. Elliott Leach, 41, up from 8th to 5th. And really, besides that, no one has moved a tremendous amount. One looking back is Mitchell Reeves, who went from 22nd to 15th. So already in this event, there are some movers. And one other thing I would like to note is that the 14 of Robbie Roy, I forgot to mention this earlier, but he's our in-race supporter, so we'll be talking to him at some points under cautions tonight.
You guys else moving forward, these guys started at the back and have kind of only picked up spots via not being taken out. You got Kent Connolly, he's picked up 13 spots. Picking up 14 spots is Dennis. Right behind them, Jason Altmans, he's picked up 15 positions, 13 positions in a positive for Jared Haggerty. A lot of those guys started outside the top 30 and have just been able to pick up spots by not being involved in that opening wreck. That happened at a quarter to 2, but again, you don't typically see, well, we're going to wreck at some point, in theory, in these A-mains. You can see, and we do normally see along green flag stretches, don't typically have wrecks very early on, so uncommon to see an incident happen in the opening stages. Again, that one just on lap 2, as we were coming at a quarter number 2. Kind of an uncharacteristic thing to see, but it was just a product of close racing. It wasn't anybody getting too crazy. The 26 of Stallneck did make it 3 wide, kind of got pinched, and a little bit of netcode there, and everybody being so stacked up that if they were spread out, I think a lot more people may have been able to get through it. But because everybody was pretty much still on top of each other after just going green, and the whole field was pretty much within 2 seconds of each other, attributed to the amount of cars that were involved in that one. Lucas Huffman has been able to get to the top spot again. He was on the outside of the front row, and now that fire bottle machine going to be in the P1 position. Chaburko, who made a move to the front after he pushed Huffman through, going to be stuck on the outside this time, as he'll be on that top lane. He's going to have Elliott Leach, or rather, he'll have William Roberts Jr. behind him. So going to be interesting to see what Brandon Chaburko can do. The 3-car, known to like to get aggressive and make it 3 wide at times. So he's not afraid to try to throw something in there to get to the top spot.
And he is not. He's a very aggressive driver. And, man, it's always fun to watch him race. He's won a race already this season. One thing I would like to comment on here is that I've noticed a lot in the comments, and I saw it again, drivers that some people watching our broadcast are not iRacing that are not really iRacing drivers. They're kind of just spectators, randomly found this on YouTube and decided to watch. I'll notice people will be like, wow, the graphics on iRacing look amazing, or is this a real life race? Well, yes, if you're interested in joining iRacing, I gotta say, and I think Evan, you'll agree with this probably has some of the best graphics out of any racing game or maybe even simulator out there. It's just pure insanely. I remember the first time I got this, it was just fun to watch. And man, Evan, I gotta agree. This is if you're into racing and stuff, this is certainly the thing for you.
And if you want to check out iSuperspeedway via the name iSuperspeedway.com Racing Series, check them out online at iSuperspeedway.com. One of the better managed and better visually appearing websites that you'll find for a lot of leads on iRacing. I know Routed Flag puts a lot of time into that in the week. All the information's there. It makes our job easy when we try to find info like who's already qualified, points, results, all that nicely laid down on the home screen there. You could also be out on track in 1 week's time when we go racing once again. Actually, 1 week's time is the All-Star race, but our next points race, you could be out here. Who knows? You win that one, and you could be fighting for a championship in just over a month. So iSuperspeedway.com for more information on that. We are doubled up. The lights have gone off on top of the iRacing Ford First Mustang pace car, so it is going to be the 09 in control. Interesting though, PD, I feel like the outside lane has actually been getting better starts so far tonight. We'll have to see if Chaburko is able to keep that strong and possibly put that 3 car to the point.
I would agree with you, but I also have to say it's the inside car that's not doing its job. Lucas Huffman, Brandon Chaburko work closely together with a bunch of things. I have to believe they are helping each other on this restart here, so it'll be interesting to see what they do here. Hayner hopefully will be able to get right up to Chaburko, and the same with Roberts. I mean, right up to Huffman, and the same with Roberts and Chaburko, because if that happens, we will see some pretty insane racing right off the bat. Although, I don't want to... Then on the other side of the hand, you don't really want to say it, because we want to see these guys go green for a while like they're used to. So let's just hope on this restart everyone gets into their groove and we see some good quality racing. And no doubt in my mind we should see that as we watch Lucas Huffman going to bring him down to green again, Evan.
He's going to be on the bottom. He's got the 20-watt Exalta of Josh Hayner behind him. Chaburko up top has the number 9 Monster Energy Toyota behind him of William Roberts. Pace car down and away, takes out the cone, mows some grass, but still gets out of the way nonetheless. And we're doubled up, getting set to go back at it and get around through the tribal. Finish on about 200 meters past the end of the tribal. Green flag now back at here. At underway we go. You see a little bit of a hesitation from the 09 car. This is going to allow Brandon Chaburko to get clear, and down in line he goes.
Right off the bat, and he takes the lead. He is right in front of Lucas Huffman in the 09 machine, going to try to hold him right there in line. I think that might have been planned. Like I said Huffman and Chaburko were probably working together right now, and I feel as though their plan was for Chaburko to take the lead there. So right off the bat, we see Chaburko into the lead. Chaburko, the lone pro driver in the field tonight, interesting to note, as he is now leading the event, and a veteran of the series. Won last season's championship, won a race this season, will be in this year's chase. Always fun to watch him. On a comment now on William Roberts in the 9 car. He's leading the outside line. Outside line's about 4 cars back, but as we saw in the B-main, they can come back in just 1 lap to the lead, so it should be interesting to watch the outside line make some moves.
Yeah, the 21 car is the, now it's going to go up to the 47, or the 41, sorry, of Elliott Leach, being the last car on the bottom. That's pretty much clear of the outside. The 9 is sitting side by side for 5th. Who leads the outside? You talked about it right there. It is the William Roberts Jr. machine all over the track behind him. Ramon Evans and the Borla exhaust machine trying to get that thing under control. Believe he may have felt like the 7 had gotten a nose inside of him. That was Rodney Wofford. Hesitated to go up the racetrack. That's going to really slow up that outside lane. Allows the 41 of Elliott Leach to jump up high. Teammate getting behind him, the 03 of Richard Talladega, going to try to push, and they're going to now lead the outside charge. Behind them, that outside with the 9 car sliding about 4 car lengths back and sliding up to the bottom down low. The 83 car, the 85, as well as the 47. Now the 20-watt Josh Hayner comes to spoil the party. They're going to go high on him 3 wide. Holliday's going to follow Leach through, and the Earnhardt sucker hole is going to go to that 21 car.
Yeah, the teammates did not want to give anyone else extra help here. Although one thing this will do, this will leave their other teammate, Robbie Roy, trapped way on the low side. That gets dicey real quick, and the outside move may not work out for Leach and Holiday there. Here they may fall back a little bit, so this may not have been the greatest move by them, as they have no help on the outside line, and it appears as though they're going to fall back quite a way now. And meanwhile, Chaburko and 09 of Huffman are still pulling away, and the 41 and 03 are just on for the ride right now. They're falling back quick. What this does is it makes Hayner the first car on the outside, so his move pays dividends as he is still on the outside line. Going to bring it to the inside now as the 47 pulls up.
You see the 47 again went low on the 21 and now has been able to jump up in front of the Josh Hayner machine. So he now leads the outside charge with a huge head of steam. Coming up, the 21's going to lay off him in the corner. You see the 09 of Lucas Huffman trying to push it as much as he can on Brandon Chaburko without making contact and sticking together. Now they get hooked up at a 2, and that's the best way to defend that inside position. Small bobble by the 3 car there. No issues there. You see the 09 slides up a little bit, kind of puts the block on the 47 and the 21 to defend that top spot. And now Williams and Servant have been able to tuck down in line with the Josh Hayner machine tucked in the middle of them. So single filing out right now at the top 6 cars on track. Still now the outside goes back to that 9 of William Roberts and the 83 of Ramon Evans. Speedy, just they can't figure it out. I mean, they're bumper to bumper. They just can't get the speed that they need, and they continue to slide back. 47 jumps up in line. He wants to take another shot at it. Hayner does not go with him, and now the 9 and the 83 going to catch up very quickly. Williams will now lead the top.
So Williams leading the outside, his series debut in his number 47. replica of AJ Allmendinger's Watkins Glenway machine. He has a huge run right now, being pushed by 9 William Roberts. Chaburko sees the air, and he's going to go up high to block it. Did not get there fast enough. Came back out Huffman, and Chaburko now is a contender on the outside. And this is a beautiful sight. About 20 cars way back, about 10 rows deep, racing at 200 miles per hour around Talladega Super Speedway. Here comes the 47 of Williams. He wants to get on the outside of Chaburko and take the lead away. William Roberts can't give him help right now. He goes to the outside. I don't know what he's doing there, but if he's not careful, he's going to lose that position. And William Roberts maybe trying to keep the nose clean, but that is not going to help him in the long run because he will lose some spots as we're starting to see the 41 and 03 make another charge, Evan.
Yeah, the 25 going to be stuck up on that third lane and going the wrong direction. That's the Corey Henry entry all the way to the back. Goes the Bud Light Platinum Chevrolet. He'll have to tuck in line behind the 97 to Jason Altman's way outside of what would be a tuck in. We got a big check up 3 wide, 4 wide. Chaburko, the 47, more contact. Turn around hard contact. The 21 of Josh Hanner. He's around in front of the field. Big wreck in 3 and 4. A secondary incident now. Jeff Ramsdell wrecking. Still spinning, the 7 car. What a move. Mitchell Reeves, the 02, just had to dodge and weave about 5 cars to survive that. We need to get on board with that 02 machine because he had to swerve in and out of about 7 separate wrecks there of cars spinning through the racetrack. Somehow Mitchell Reeves survived that. However, a lot of cars, at least a dozen, torn up.
Oh my, Mitchell Reeves, how did he do that? He bobbed and weaved, and man, he looked like Kobe out there on the track, missing guys left and right. Oh, that was insanity to watch there, but a lot of good cars were enjoyed destroyed, not enjoyed. I don't think any of them enjoyed that, as you will see the replay here. Just a couple names, the 25, the 03, the 1 got some damage, the 97, the 85, the 41, and just a whole bunch of others were collected in that one, as we saw a wreck that we hoped we wouldn't see tonight. It was just the big one, folks, and it comes with Talladega. I just said we were going 200 miles an hour, racing 20 cars in a big pack, and it was a beautiful sight, but every now and then that beautiful sight becomes ugly, and it happened when the 47 tried to make a very daring move for the lead, and it just did not work out for anyone. It just created a big mess. Very, very interested to see how this will affect the drivers. They will not have the resets. I remember the league made a new rule a few weeks ago, giving them only 1 resets in races like this, so already some cars are around the short end of the stick here, Evan.
And for those that are tuning in tonight on Friday evening, a lot going on LSRTV through the week. Sunday night, you got the Cora Sunday Monday Series. Mondays, RSR Icebreaker Winter Series. Tuesdays, you have the NASCAR iRacing.com Pro Series. And on Thursdays, the Upstate Racing League. So for more information on that, go to livesimracing.com. Stay up to date on everything that's going on. Like us on Facebook. Subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. All the races are going to be uploaded on there. 1080p, many of which are up there at the 60 frames per second area. Nice and smooth and very good looking. So again, all those races going to be available simulcasted on the YouTube channel. So make sure to check that out. But iSuper Speedway in the works. No longer the Friday night doubleheader, just iSuper Speedway. It's a little bit more of a lax night than going back to back. So you don't have the double PD. So I think Seth is going to be officially the winner of that after getting back to back second place finishes. However, no luck tonight. He's not in the A main. But right now we sit with 30 cars on the lead lap. Last car on the lead lap, Greg Hooks. That's set up 98 Chase Elliott themed Napa Auto Parts Chevrolet. What if you guys, though, again, have been torn up in this, many of which may have the opportunity, if they're a lap down, to get a wave by, but you're going to run out of those quick fixes a lot faster with those new rules that were implicated back for, I believe, what was the final race there before the off-season break.
One thing to note here is what Evan just said about the whole the double being dead. It's not official, Evan, although the Verdane series was officially shut down. They shut their doors. I had a chance to talk to the league owner of that, Ian Plash, and he told me that it may be dead, but he said, like a phoenix, it will rise from the ashes. He said that it will return one day. So maybe one day, not in the near future, but the far future, we will have guys trying to attempt the double and trying to match the feat that Seth the Merchant did. And there's been multiple rumors around the garage that he might want these things broadcast. We do not know yet, but it will just be very exciting to see, and people can do what me and Seth did, and Seth did it more successfully, but who really writes down where the successful drivers finished? I mean, come on.
So Joshua Williams leads a lot of NASCAR-inspired designs, and you can use trading paints to get your own custom paint schemes, but there's a lot of the NASCAR-themed cars. You got an AJ Allmendinger car, Kingsford. You got Scott Bush on the 47 car right there, who leads this race. Chaburko, as always, in the Good Wrench car, the number 3 machine. I guess his Twitter's on the roof of that, so you guys can check him out there. But not necessarily new faces. We know who they are, but newcomers to the league. Lucas Huffman doing really good P3 right now. Some other guys back at the back. Max Stallknecht, the 26 machine, new face here as well. Only sitting 20th right now. Showed a little bit of speed in the B main. Hasn't quite had the luck that he's been looking for. Always great to see a lot of new faces coming out. And again, because of the way that championship works, you win and you can punch your chicken. You can punch your chicken, Petey, into the championship, and obviously have an opportunity to fight for that trophy.
Yeah, they're gonna be trying to punch their chicken out here.
I almost said ticket, and I had to correct myself so I could properly say to punch your chicken or your chicken. I'm trying. My mind is telling me ticket, Petey, but we all know that it's your chicken. Typically, if it's not them, somebody else could have punched their chicken. Their ticket.
The fateful day. One day we were talking about who would make the chase. I believe this was the race that actually I wasn't here. I think I was racing, and Evan Pasoko, he was talking about how drivers would punch their tickets, but despite all odds, he said chicken, not ticket. Now, so basically we went from a ticket to the chase to poultry. So Evan got a little bit off track there.
Maybe I was hungry. I'm not sure, but so now we refer to the punching your ticket to the championship, as punching your chicken. So that's I haven't heard the end of that one.
Yeah, well, Evan, I like to bring up as much as I can. There's some things that you like to hang above my head too, but it's all in good fun and games as we like to just mess around with each other up in the booth.
That's why you talked about drivers flying. On the upstate side of things. One time, Petey said the champagne is flying. It was something along the lines of, and so is the driver of the 24 car. So now I talk about animal abuse, and he talks about drivers that can fly.
So now, every time we go to broadcast upstate Victory Lane, I'm like, meanwhile in Victory Lane, the number 24 is flying, the champagne is flying, and so is the number 24. It's just there's little things that we do that keep us entertained. So if you stick
around for a little bit, you're gonna be on the in with us, and it'll be like an inside joke with you guys. So
maybe one of you can start a Twitter called like #just Petey and Evan things.
Yes, there you go. You can stay with us, and we'll be on the inside with each other. We can have inside jokes.
Yeah, we can all be friends. Who doesn't want more friends? But one person who's not making friends right now is the 47 of Joshua Williams. Josh Williams, a lot of drivers were really upset with him after that wreck, but he's just a new driver trying to prove himself, and certainly did not make a good mark right there, although I'm sure moving forward he'll be a little more careful about that of him.
And we're going to get back at it here in just a moment because the lights are off. On top of the iRacing Ford First Mustang pace car front row, going to be Joshua Williams, Brandon Chaburko, the 47, at number 3 car. Seems like this caution at a couple more laps. Maybe they had to put some more speedy dry down and get everything back going. Interesting to note, the 47 car does have some minor front end damage. So if Joshua Williams gets tucked back in line, PD, he's got to watch his temperatures, make sure he doesn't overheat and lose that engine. If he stays in clean air, it's fine, but if Chaburko gets in front of him, something to keep an eye on as he works with some sheet metal damage. Pace car's well off, but white green flag going to fly as we cycle out of the tri-oval right there. Once again, a dead even start and actually sliding up. Small contact between Joshua Williams and Brandon Chaburko. Again, Chaburko with a better start. Not enough, though, to clear that leader this time, as it's no longer the quote-unquote teammate per se of Lucas Huffman, as Joshua Williams is able to keep the nose, and we're door-to-door for P1.
Brandon Chaburko on the outside does not need to find his way in the chase. He's just here to race for trophies. That's right, real-life trophies they will mail you. A very rare thing. Leagues don't normally do that, but he is leading the outside charge right now with Paul Servant pushing him. Servant making his series debut here, and he's doing one heck of a job in this 85 Oreo machine. That's a real sharp-looking car. He is pushing that 3 machine for all it's worth, trying to get the number 47 AJ Allmendinger remake machine, as Lucas Huffman, though, is going to push the 47 of Joshua Williams past Chaburko. So them two get clear there, and we're watching some more intense racing happen behind them. 3 wide, that one car that missed the wreck, remember Mitchell Reeves? Yeah, he's still up there racing for the lead, so that paid dividends missing the wreck, as right now there's two car tangos though, Evan.
Yeah, in that front lane, again, you got to get separated in the corner, but they're definitely going to hook up, but again, create that 2 sets of tandems there on the front row if possible. The 85 slung them back a little bit that time, through corners number 1 and 2. Not quite on the back bumper of Brandon Chaburko is the Paul Surfett entry, so that's going to be able to allow Joshua Williams. And Huffman actually slides up a little bit, gets into the 3 of Chaburko, moves over a little bit to the right, and the 85 kind of had to make an evasive action. Nothing going to come from that. The 5 car going to split the gap. Nice move by Casey Pierce. To the bottom, 09 slides up again, and once again into the door of Chaburko is Lucas Huffman. So the 09 going to push up a little bit twice, both times making contact with Chaburko.
So Chaburko right there on the outside trying to lead the charge. The 85 still pushing him. Paul Servant doing a good job right now in a series debut. On the inside, though, that 5, Jeff Gordon, man, that car looks pretty. That Jeff Gordon remake, the 5 Rainbow Warrior machine, just forces his way to the outside, and Jeff Gordon next. And crossover, he yeeted him, as I like to say, and found his way behind the number 47 of Joshua Williams. He's going to have some help from Robbie Roy here in a second. Grant Chaburko takes it 3 wide on his partner, or he at least tried to, and he thought better of it. So that will all find its way out quick. But that Jeff Gordon car is making some moves here, Evan.
He put the dangles on about a 2, and Chaburko was into the middle 3 wide, but then checked up for the 09 machine to be able to get back down in front of him. Those cars have been working together since the start of the race, and that checked up the outside lane quite a bit. It's allowed the inside to get clear by 4 car lengths. The 47 and the 5 car are that lead set of 2 cars. You got Robbie Roy, Mitchell Reeves. Then you find the outside lane of Lucas Huffman and Brandon Chaburko. They're sitting side by side with the car on the bottom, being the 82 of Dan Harrington. Going to take them some time to be able to get back up to the front. So for the moment, Joshua Williams can kind of take a little bit of a breather here for the top spot now. We close in on the halfway point at about 3 laps, and that's when the intensity really going to start to amp up.
Pushed the 47 to the corners the last few laps, and you can't do that. I imagine he would be receiving a penalty here, although I don't know how closely they will pay attention to that in the early laps of the event. Should be interesting to see what happens there. I think race control may have just told him something's starting to back off a little bit now. But either way, that was... Oh, the 14 of Robbie Roy gets way loose. Does he save it? Does he hold on? Yes, he does. The 14 of Robbie Roy, but he's going to fall way back to the end of the field. And what an unfortunate break for Robbie Roy, as he almost comes up into his teammates, but he avoids that, and he's just going way off the pace on the apron. So tough break there for Robbie Roy. So that will really mess him up. He's lost the draft, actually, so he's going to need nothing short of a miracle here to catch back up as we watch the Brandon Chaburko make some moves on his teammates up here, Evan.
He could be banking on the yellow as well. I believe the 5 car is okay right now. You see he's backing off a lot more versus to where that 47's back bumper is in comparison to the laps prior to that. He's actually going to use a slingshot out of 4, jump up to the outside lane. Does anybody go with him? 02 might have thought so, but he's not going to go high, so Mitchell Reeves stays low, and the 5's going to have to wait till Brandon Chaburko going to catch up to him at a number 3. Good wrench entry. Now Chaburko gets to the 5, and they're going to try to push. Believe that it's okay that you're going to be actually giving that guy a little bit of a bump in the corner. You just can't get hooked onto that bumper. So right there, Chaburko timing it well. You can give him a couple of taps, you just can't stay hooked on. So the 5 car definitely pushing the limits of what race control will allow, but believe he may have been good there and may have as well been issued a warning, which is why we saw him take it a little bit easier that last time. Now that he has the help from Brandon Chaburko coming flying up on the outside lane, nobody on the bottom's really hooked up at the moment, so the 5 and the 3 going to get a great run out of 4. This lead pack now, as there's a bobble for 3rd and 3, and the 02 machines got kind of close. This lead pack 2 wide, about 5 rows deep, really got packed together quickly, and that run on the outside lane going to pay due dividends, give the lead to Casey Pierce, and he'll wait enough time to allow Brandon Chaburko to come back down as well.
Boy, this is like some throwback NASCAR here. Dale Earnhardt just pushed Jeff Gordon to the lead in a pack race at Talladega. Never thought I'd be saying that. Just very, very interesting.
Look at the move by the 02.
Oh, the 02
he
spun himself. He spun himself. He made
in the wall.
He made too good of a move. He made a move that was too quick for even himself there, Evan.
The Denny Hamlin, as he makes a quick evasive maneuver and it ends up spinning himself out into the inside wall with Mitchell Reeves. He's stopped on the back straightaway, no caution, and maybe he was hoping for one because he's sitting there stationary on the apron. We stay green flag racing, and Brandon Chaburko goes high on the 5 car, and he wants that top spot now. He's going to have help from the 47, Joshua Williams.
So Brandon Chaburko will take the lead from Joshua Williams here. Like I was saying before, though, it's very cool to see these Earnhardt-Gordon-esque paint schemes racing at pack race in Talladega. And the pack racing is a very important thing here. This is about the only league that does that. All the other leagues have that 2-car tandem stuff, which is fun. But this is just fun to watch for the eyes, though. There's no guys wildly charging on the outside. This is just fun to watch here as we still see Chaburko with help from Joshua Williams trying to get on the outside of Lucas Huffman here. 47 had to cool his nose a little bit, so that slowed them down a little bit. But the 09's not directly on the bumper of Casey Pierce. Pierce is still your leader here. And worst watch, Pierce going to go the outside, make an evasive move, but so did Chaburko. And Chaburko is now on the outside of Pierce.
The 5 just chopped the nose off of the 09 of Lucas Huffman. Damage on the right front of that machine as Casey Pierce tried to find a spotted line before he got split. He's able to forcibly stay in that lead, and you see the 09 repaying the favor, getting on that left quarter panel there, a little bit close that time through 1 and 2. He is able to retain the lead. Chaburko still leads the outside charge, still with help from 47 Williams. Behind them, the next set of 2 cars up at a high side, the 97 of Jason Altmans. He has help from that 26 of Matt Stallneck, who I said showed some speed at a B main and is just trying to be able to get up front. He's now in a top 10 position behind him. You got Shane McKeegan on the bottom, still the 85 of Paul Servant. Not really in the tandem, just kind of minding his own business. The 82 of Dan Harrington there as well. The 55 of Derek Walker. The 7 of Rodney Wofford. Top 10 now, and well, really out of nowhere, the top 15 now are only separated by about 0.5 of a second. We were pretty strung out not too long ago. 3-1 now for the top spot. Chaburko with no help. He's going to go backwards.
Backwards here, folks, and that's not a place you want to be, especially for the defending champ, Brandon Chaburko. Chaburko falling backwards here, and look at that 26 machine, though. He's on the Jerry Nadeau throwback paint scheme, and he's doing a great job here in his number 26 machine. He went full out even with the number. So, right now, Matt Stallneck is racing his way up here, and finally Chaburko finds a hole he can go into. So that worked out for him. A new battle for the lead is going to be Joshua Williams and Casey Pierce here, Evan. Give the lead to Joshua Williams easily, and Joshua...
Oh, contact! There goes Jerry the 26 Nadeau. Around. Huge hit! Big wreck coming through the tri-oval.
That was the... There's big ones, there's bigger ones, and then there's that one.
That was huge. And it all started... It looks like the car that got turned around was stall-necked, Petey. That's the 26 machine. This was going through the tri-oval. 85 of Paul Servant pushed up a little bit of net code, hooks that 26 around, and the car that just absolutely gets obliterated. The hits tonight have been huge. Lucas Huffman, huge impact to the outside wall. The 20, the 9, the 3 car, the 82, the 47. Quite a few cars involved in this one. That one, huge, and it was just starting to get real dicey, and that's what happens when you push the boundary too much at over 200 miles an hour. A lot of cars torn up.
Wow, the 1 in the 03 made an amazing move to miss that wreck, but that was a huge one there, Evan. And this has just brought on a spectacular wreck that we aren't used to seeing here, Evan. So, very interesting scenario here.
And we are past the halfway point, and this time across the start-finish line, under caution flag conditions. Going to be 20 laps to go. We're going to step away for the only time during race conditions tonight. You're watching the iSuperspeedway.com Racing Series Season 3 on LSRTV. Round 8 in the works from Talladega, at an exciting race to the finish. Sure to come. Stay tuned. Back live from the Talladega Superspeedway, Lincoln, Alabama, playing host to tonight's Round 8 on Season 3 of the iSuperspeedway.com Racing Series, live as always on LSRTV. A-Main now past the halfway point and working under a caution flag that has Jason Altman's at number 97 machine on point. Lights still on a pace car right now. This restart going to be coming up right in about the range of 17 or so laps to go. Still giving us quite the opportunity to have a few more yellows. Again, with the new quick fix rules in effect for tonight's race, a lot less drivers still in this than they would have been if we were under the old amount of quick fixes allotted. So even though we still have the opportunity to rack PD, a lot of the people don't want to see that because they burned up that quick fix and they're trying to make it to the end. Also, hearing a few drivers maybe pushing that envelope a little bit close on fuel.
Yeah, went down to pit road and talked to the 57 crew. He said he's working with the 03 and the 41 and the 1 machine. He said they're all going to be pushing the envelope really tight on fuel tonight, so should be interesting to watch their races break down. Man, this is just going to be another barn burner, as me and Evan like to use a lot. They're just going to have around 17 laps to go when they get the restart. That's shorter than the B-Main, and I wouldn't be one bit surprised if they went green to the very end here, Evan.
Yeah, these races have been known to see long green flag stretches. Saw a pretty good length one that last time. And again, that being because of the fact that things got calmed down, we got spread out very quickly. Things got hectic once we had a few people check up front. The pack was able to suck back out to them. Next thing you know, we're too wide. Everybody's all over each other's bumper, and there's absolutely no room for error at that point, which led to the contact and evidently another big incident tonight. When they're wrecking tonight, they're wrecking pretty big. A lot of huge hits in these incidents. A lot of people just getting turned around, and we've also seen a lot of people get collected. We've also seen quite a few people show their agility skills getting through some of these incidents. A lot of people dodging and weaving their way through the carnage.
Yes, that's worked out very, very well. Man, three come to mind. The 02 Mitchell Reeves, who basically broke everyone's ankles tonight. I mean, good gracious, he made some great moves there. Richard Holiday and the 1 of Jeff Ramsdell, that last wreck, they had 2 lanes, both seemed pretty clear. That's just kind of like a Hail Mary. You have to just, both of them were bad, you just have to decide which one's going to be least worse. The one on the outside was the one that closed up real quick. They couldn't have known that, so they went to the low one, hoping it would be the better one, and it worked out for them, so they got really lucky there with that one. So just, man, some great wreck avoidance tonight, and these drivers have truly shown their skill here. And the wrecks have been caused by little silly things so far, such as making a move that shouldn't have been made, or net code. It hasn't really seen anything too ridiculous happen here, Evan.
Well, we're still working under the caution right now, so this gives these drivers a lot of time to ponder. Those drivers that we were talking about that may be pushing it a little bit close on fuel have the opportunity now to save, obviously put it in 4th gear, pop it into neutral, let it coast a little bit so that they can make it to the end. Lights going off in pace car right now, so restart going to be at lap 32 of 47. It will be a 16 lap to go restart. This whole time at a yellow PD, a lot of these guys are thinking about different situations that they can put themselves in. You can kind of plan a plan of attack, a little bit of strategy rolling into this. As soon as the green flag flies and somebody moves that you weren't banking on that happening, that is out the window, and it's pretty much, again, a free-for-all the way the drafted has worked. I've actually been impressed on how much people have been sticking with each other. We've seen Chaburko. He's been working together quite well with some of the guys out there. But even up high, Pete, we've seen quite a few people be able to get 2 cars clear of the bottom. You don't typically see that. Typically, you're going to see the guy get out of line as fast as he can, leave the guy that pushed him in front of the guy that led the bottom line, just leave him hanging. Tonight, these guys looked rather patient. Expect that to go away now as we approach the final 10 laps of this event.
And Evan, right now, I want to do what we like to do with most of our broadcasts, and that is the final stretch picks. Now, for the first time in probably our history of doing this, I am not going to be picking a driver that is in the top 5 right now. I am going to go with a true wild card pick, and I'm going to say the man who wants to deliver the salt to all the drivers' pit stalls tonight, Brandon Chaburko, is going to wheel that 3 to the lead.
So even though it's not I always say that when PD picks the guy who's leading to win the race, I always say he's going with a wild card pick. Even when he doesn't go with somebody that, it's still a Brandon Chaburko. That 3 machine is known to be able to fight his
He's
way
gonna
through in the
nail it.
closing laps. He's a seasoned veteran. He's back in 18th position, so he's got a long way to go. I want to put this one on the number 30 of Robert Lynn. I think that he's going to be able to steal the show here. He sits in P4 on the outside of row 2. Pace car's been well off and away. Green flag flies at an
big checkup.
97. Did
The
not
03.
go. Jason Altman's caught sleeping. Check up on the bottom. Damage to the 7. Damage to the 03. Damage to the 83. Everybody
they're
on the bottom
3
got
wide.
stacked up.
4 wide.
Leader's now going to go to the 55.
They were almost 4 wide back with the 98 of Greg Hooks, and they're still 3 wide with the 3 and 5 and 98 Brandon Traburco. I said he likes to get wild, well, he's already becoming rowdy. And this 48 is going to get turned by Robbie Roy down the backstretch, and he's going to go in the inside wall. No caution. I don't think this is going to cause one. He's just a single car spin. He's all by himself. He gets it going, but that's not going to bring out the caution. We stay green, and there's still 3 wide up here with Rod Flag and multiple others, and oh my goodness, what a hornet's nest that restart was, and a lot of guys got through it scathed with damage.
48 that you've been talking about, that's Josh Ball. He hit the 36, came across the nose of the 14 of Robbie Roy, hit the inside wall, continues to go, no caution as he spun around after hitting the fence, well off the racing surface, down on the apron. Outside lane, how about the 57 of Jared Haggerty? Try to make something work. He's about third in line in comparison to those cars on the bottom. Leads the outside charge. Had help for the 77 of Matt Bontempi. Bontempi tucked in line. Now back out to help is that 77. Can those 2 cars make something happen? They worked out of back straightaway now. Lap 33 in the works. But how about in all of that? Derek Walker going to go to the top spot, the number 55 machine, the 30 of Robert Lynn. He's now second, and the 97 of Jason Altman, who led, slides back to third. For some reason or another, that 97 PD just did not get going, and about the 5 guys behind him all stacked up got some sort of damage.
Man, what an underdog outside lane right now. We never talk about the 57 and the 77. Oh, I hear a hard wreck with the 05 in the back. The 05 hit hard, I'm hearing, from what I hear. The 5, that would be Casey Pierce. Brandon Traburco hit him. Brandon Traburco's hit the 5 in the door, so that was not good there for the 5 machine. He should still be okay, though, and actually he's losing the draft. So what we have now is a 9-car lead draft, and Brandon Traburco's losing it. Actually, no, he felt bad about what he did the 5 car, so he's going to help the 5 catch back up like a true gentleman champion would. So
Traburco's not the one that got into the 5. The 5 got hit by the 36 machine on the bottom. That was Sean Turner, and then Dan Traburco got into him afterwards and dropped back, but most of the damage, I do believe, came from contact with Sean Turner, who's up at a lead pack, PD, a lot of the way. That's the way that it all shakes out. The guy that initiates the contact has no damage, and the guys that are, back and the ones that get hit, the innocent people, are the ones that take the brunt of the damage.
Kind of funny right now. Basically, the whole lead pack is questionable on field right now, and everyone else isn't. So the lead pack right now is pulling away, but they really shouldn't be, because they are possibly not good on gas, and I'm hearing they might need a caution. Still, that underdog outside line, the 57 of Jared Haggerty and the 77 of Matt Bontempi are trying to make a charge here, and they are coming very nice on the outside here. Here comes the 57. He has a lot of help from Matt Bontempi in the 77. And man, you fans are in for a great finish here tonight. There's going to be fuel, there's going to be photo finishes, there's going to be wrecks, and most importantly, one guy will come home with a trophy and a chase berth. So here we go, getting ready as these guys come down to the flag. Just about 11 laps to go now. And man, Jared Haggerty's making a hard charge. Here comes the outside lane.
Yeah, Haggerty still leads that charge, still's got help from the 77 of Matt Bontempi. They've now made their way up to about side-by-side for third with the 97 of Jason Altman's, who is the 3rd car in line down there. That's the lead pack breakaway, 5 cars strong in this race. You got Sean Turner hanging on for dear life at a 36. He's starting to lose that. After him, you got to look back about 1.2 seconds. 2 sets of tandems to find the 3 and the 47 and 21 and the 25, and then the rest of the field 3 wide around P16 with the 088 machine of Kent Connolly. At the middle has no luck there. 1 car's now ducking down to pit road this time through and going to have to come in for service, possibly a fuel stop. It is the 48 of Josh Ball, so he may be packing it in and getting down for some damage repairs. 4 wide with Rod Flag getting around some lap traffic as Kent Connolly still in the middle. That well outside of the top 10, but battle for the lead still strong now. Going to be 10 to go this next time around.
We're closing on just 10 laps to go. This lead pack is, see ya, they're gone, but the only issue is they're possibly not good on fuel. First car good on fuel that we know, that we are positive is good on fuel right now, would be the 5 of Casey Pierce. So if they were to run out and this was the last lap, he would be the leader. But the thing is, so many things are going to change here. Who knows what would happen? But right now, Derek Walker is leading this event, and Derek has just had a spectacular night tonight. He hasn't had the luck he wanted at all this season, or really the night. But man, when it's important, here he is. He's racing Jared Haggerty, another driver who's had awful luck. And you know, actually, Evan, this whole lead pack, with the exception of Rodney, they have just had awful luck this season. But man, they're running good right now.
Yeah, and not without incident. A lot of them sitting with some torn up sheet metal, fighting through adversity to get where they're at right now. Haggerty seems to be one of the drivers that ends up at a fence. He got wrecked in the B main. He's here, and trying to get the win in the A main. He's got help from the 77. Can he get all the way clear? No, not enough. The 55 keeps the nose there, and now Derek Walker back with the advantage down low.
So Derek Walker there on the inside line, trying to battle with the number 57 of Jared Haggerty. Haggerty holding strong on the outside, though, with help from Matt Bontempi. Bontempi is one of them crew chiefs of the pro drivers we were talking about earlier, as he's trying to help Haggerty get there. And man, we're seeing a lot of things going on. The second pack has caught the lead pack, or at least a piece of the second pack has caught the lead pack, I should say. And it's about 10 cars strong now, or maybe 12. It's about 12 cars strong now, and man, this is starting to get tough here. Jared Haggerty's still trying to fight on the outside. They're questionable on fuel. One guy who knows he can make it is that 47 machine who's just caught the pack. Joshua Williams, his series debut, is battling for the win here, and he knows he's good on gas. Everyone in front of him doesn't, Evan.
And that's going to be the question pretty much all the way through to the finish of this race is, are they going to make it the distance? This lead pack has grown significantly. The 47 and the 21, they've drafted up to the outside lane. They're now a part of it. The 5 of Casey Pierce with help from the 25 of Corey Henry. They're now back in this exchange. And Brandon Chaburko, PD, all of a sudden back to 20th position after trying to drop back and pick up that number, or it was the 25 or somebody in that mix that got damaged. He's now out of contention unless we get a yellow. Still a possibility, though, because last time he got grouped up this tight for the top 10 positions, we wrecked big. They're all over each other in the 3.
One thing cool in the pack going on right now, there's the old Jeff Gordon car, there's the new Jeff Gordon car right side by side. I thought that was pretty cool. More importantly, though, there's a battle for the lead going on. Jared Haggerty trying to take it away from Derek Walker. He has help from Matt Bontempi in the 77. And on the inside, Robert Lynn is trying to help the 55 Derek get by 57, but that will not happen. The 47 goes way high, comes back to the line, keeps his car going, and this is going to be really close. And I just got a report from the 57 crew chief, has just reported to our spotter box. If there's not a caution, he is going to run out, coming out of the 4 here, Evan. So the 57's real close. They don't think they're going to make it without a caution.
You can save a little bit of fuel if you're checked in behind somebody. Contact the 55 and the 57. However, because Haggerty leads the outside charge, can't save. He's got to stay on the accelerator. The 21 in that checkup jumped out to the outside. That's Josh Hanner in the Exalted machine. He will then drop back. 3 cars are going to be able to pass him on the outside lane, so he's going to have to tuck it behind the 25 of Corey Henry right now. Derek Walker still leads. Haggerty still leads the outside charge. 30 slides high outside. Needs to move up to accommodate for that. This time by the start-finish line, going to get an updated look at the interviews, but really close here, PD. Top 15 within 6 minutes. We got a record. Tanner Mann, 17. That's the Pepsi Max machine. Hard into the inside wall. He's spun off of the nose of the one of Jeff Ramsdell. That's off the racetrack. We stay green.
One thing I want to think here is, that's really close. He said like running out 4, they're going to be running out. I have to think Derek Walker and Jared Haggerty have been on the outside this whole time. The guys behind them have been able to save fuel. My thinking right now is that the top 2 might run out of fuel and everyone else could make it. So that would work right in the hands of Robert Lynn and Matt Bontempi. Although we're starting to see the good fueled cars get mixed with the lead pack, as we're going to be coming to just 5 to go this time by, folks. So it's coming down to the nitty gritty. We don't know who's going to make it. We don't know who's going to run out. And we do not know who's going to win this. Oh, the 30 blew his motor. That was unexpected. Oh, they're wrecking. The 36, the 5. It's the big one behind them. This could be the race. No caution is out, Evan. If they throw
36,
the caution,
back up on track. There it is.
this might be the race, Evan. There's only 5 laps to go. And if it is, Jared Haggerty's the winner. He led at the last scoring loop.
So the 30 blows up. A checkup sees the 5 of Casey Pierce get into Sean Turner. Contact where 3 cars went around. All of them were off the racing surface, stayed green. Replays up now, and that 36 spun across the racetrack, came back up. The 09 gets damaged hard into the outside wall, goes Sean Turner. caution flag is out, and with this being a 47-lap affair, going to catch the pace car coming around on lap 44. This should end it. However, we're going to keep up to date on see when these intervals are, what we're seeing from race control via a restart, a possible restart. If we do, it's only going to be about 1 lap. I think this, however, is going to end this race.
I believe it is, right now I'm looking at the lights on the pace car. Okay, I have the exact moment when they flashed on, and when they flashed on, Jared Haggerty was the leader by quite a bit. I do not know if race control will put that into play or if they're just going to do what iRacing said, because I believe iRacing is still scoring the 55 in the lead, but definitely when the lights come on the pace car, the leader is the 57, and I believe they did believe the 57 here. So Jared Haggerty, despite all odds on basically no fuel, may have just walked out of the fastest speedway in America with a trophy.
The 57 currently sits on track in front of the 55 of Derek Walker. So right now, looking like Jared Haggerty fighting through adversity and a couple of rough weeks may be able to take this one under caution flag conditions and punch that ticket, or punch that chicken per se, into the championship and have an opportunity to fight for the big hardware when it's all said and done. If it is the 57, even for the matter of the 55 winning this race and we don't go back green, PD, that I-5 bonus is going to be $50 for our next points race in 2 weeks' time. That's a pretty hefty prize that Haggerty, Walker, Bontempi, Wofford, and Altmans would be able to fight for if this is the order that they will finish in.
Man, it just keeps getting bigger and bigger each week, and the way they're going at it, it could be a while. So, who knows, by the time it's all said and done, it could be up to 100, but, man, if Jared Haggerty gets out of this with a win, he's had such a rough season, and we talk to him a lot, and as we talk to all the drivers, we like to talk and communicate with the drivers in the league. We have to think that Jared Haggerty has to be pretty happy about this after the rough season he's had so far.
There's a lot of people that, again, have to fight through adversity, have a lot of tough weeks. He was just wrecked, PD, about an hour ago in the B main, wrecked and torn up in the inside grass going through one of the corners. Used that quick fix, was able to qualify, now finds himself at the A main and in the lead. If the lights were to go off this time by on lap 46, this race is going to have a 1-lap shootout. We go green on 47, no yellows from that point, raced it out. If the lights remain on after we cross the start-finish line the next time around, this race is over, and we would have our 7th driver, 7th different winner in 8 races, and Haggerty would be in the chase for the championship.
One thing I remember is a few weeks ago, Jared Haggerty was wrecked, and despite all odds, was not going to finish on the lead lap, and he was basically out of the race in the B main. A caution came out, they got a 1-lap shootout, they waved him around, he missed the big one, made the A main, and I remember he finished 2nd. Another event we want to reference Jared Haggerty last week was not going to make the A main, or at least he didn't think he was going to. Despite all odds, somehow still managed to get to the 33 of Larry Camp and, to make something interesting happen and get himself into the A main. So this Jared Haggerty, out of all the drivers that we watch race in this series and everyone out here, this Jared Haggerty has some of the more heart you'll see in a driver. He just never gives up. He has that attitude of never giving up, and he's always very fun to watch him make things happen.
And we're about to find out the fate of this race, this time by the start-finish line. Coming over 2 laps to go. Lights on the pace car remain on, and your winner tonight is going to be Jared Haggerty, as long as he can make it around. Again, they were close on fuel. He's got about just over 5 miles still to go under caution flag conditions to make the distance, and he will win.
Yeah, and a little bit of controversy going on in the pits right now. You remember from the last restart, Richard Holiday and the 50, I believe it was 97 of Jason Oltmans made contact, gave him all damage. Richard Holiday just confronted Oltmans, saying, just telling him that he has to go on green, and Oltman did not take very kindly to that. So still a little bit of controversy popping up late in the stages of this event.
Brandon Chaburka would refer to that as a little bit of salt being thrown around.
Important salt.
Yeah, the drivers are known to express their opinions post-race, and we were able to kind of see what the drivers talk about when they're not on track after the broadcasts. And I guess it could be safe to say that there are a few rivalries that go on here internally, but at the end of the day, the racing is exciting for us because no matter who gets wrecked, we're enjoying the show. There's a lot of emotion, obviously, that goes into it with physical trophies, physical cash payouts on the line per every week's race, and obviously everybody wants to do well and there's a couple of people still discussing over the radio. The 09 of Lucas Huffman, he is exchanging words with another driver on track right now. Believe he's discussing with the 83 of Ramon Evans. Right now the 83 sits 23rd, and the car that he's having a discussion with is a lot higher up. So they're exchanging a few words. White flag will be out this next time by, but a couple of drivers not all that pleased with the way some of that went down. And you can almost think of these super speedway races, PD, as a short track, is pretty much everybody's going to walk away upset in some way, shape, or form, feeling like it was taken away from them, except for the guy that takes home the hardware. White flag that time by. Jared Haggerty just has to lock this one up.
Yeah, and one driver's that smile is as wide as... Oh, man, actually, I just got a big update. The crew chief
Haggerty's got 0.4, yeah,
he has
I don't know, he's on the
0.4 gallons
apron.
left of fuel. He say might not make it, so
And you cannot
that machine's
push
very
somebody
close.
across
No, that's
as well.
illegal here. If he pushes them, they'll be disqualified. So the 57, 0.4 gallons of fuel here. That's going to be very, very interesting to see. Hopefully he can make it. 0.4, I think, is enough, especially... I think he'll probably use about 0.3 on this lap. He should make it. We're not sure, though. And even if he does run out, he's within coasting distance, I think, the second they hit the entrance to the tri-oval. So he should be okay from what I'm thinking, but it might be a little bit close. And another drive, and you have to think that actually all the top 5 right now is probably in the same boat as him. Another drive, though, if he can make it to the line, 77 Map on Tempe. His smile has to be as wide as the banks in this track, I'm telling you. He has the worst luck. And I know that he's probably as tickled pink to finally get a decent finish, or at least hopefully, although knowing his luck, the unexpected could happen.
We got some more drivers exchanging heated words over the radio. The 09 of Lucas Huffman having a disagreement with the 03 of Richard Holliday. So the exchange of thoughts continues. The spirit, it's not a fight, it's a spirited debate. When it's words only over the sim. It'd be dangerous to put a couple of these guys in the same room when a race was going on. Haggerty comes out at quarter before. Lights still on the pace car under caution flag conditions, and having to make this final lap on the final 0.4 gallons of fuel. Works now down on the apron, and it looks like he's going to be able to at least coast home if he were to run out at this point. Welcome to the championship, the playoff, whatever you want to call it. The 57's going to be able to fight for it. Checkered flag and race number 8 on the Season 3 campaign from Talladega. To the driver of that 57, Jared Haggerty wins.
Jared Haggerty, despite all... He has to do his burnouts quick. He doesn't have a lot of fuel, folks. Jared Haggerty, despite all odds, him and his never-give-up attitude, he doesn't give up again, and it perseveres for him tonight. He will get the win here from Talladega, and what a win for him. And he started in position number 32 tonight, folks. That's really deep in the field out of, I think that's 32 cars. There's actually a little bit more than 32, but he started deep, deep, deep in the field tonight. And this is, like I said, Evan, Jared Haggerty is just a driver who never gives up.
He's got a couple of more people doing burnouts. Think he's out of fuel now, but look at the finishing versus the starting spots for these first top 10 cars. Jared Haggerty wins it, started 32nd. They have just pushed him off track. Derek Walker, PD, started 24th, finishes 2nd. Matt Bontempi, who comes home 3rd, started 23rd. Rodney Wofford, one of only 2 drivers in the top 10 to start in the top 10, started 7th, finished 4th. Jason Altmans, who finished the top 5, started back in 33rd. Joshua Williams, who gets the 6th, started 16th. Josh Hanner, the only other car that started top 10, finishes there. He started 6th, finishes 7th. Oh, even Corey Henry, a Jeff Ramsdell, a Dana Osborne, 8th through 10th position, started 17th, 15th, and 20th, respectively. That's super speedway racing for you.
So, man, just some insane finishing here, folks, and, I'm really excited to hear what the winner has to say. I'm sure he's the happiest man in the world right now.
He fought through, and then again, with that win, no $45 payout, but he's going to have a new piece of hardware sitting on the racing, next to the racing sim on the desk, and he's going to be able to fight for an even bigger one. He's in the championship. Your winner tonight is Jared Haggerty. Post-race interviews still to come at LSRTV. Don't step away. A lot more from the Talladega Super Speedway. Stay tuned. Back live at Talladega Superspeedway, the iSuperspeedway.com Racing Series, Season 3 on LSRTV, and Round 8 is officially in the books. And kicking off the post-race interviews down on pit road with our third-place finishers, Petey Zeller.
Well, normally Evan would interview third, but I've been waiting a long time to interview Matt Bontempi. And Matt, after all these...
Yeah, my teammate...
What just... I think we just had a bot issue. The bot got... Matt, they're trying to take away your interview.
Yeah, Petey, they can't do this to me. I've been waiting for this all season.
But after all these tries in LSR broadcast, Matt Bontempi has finally got a podium. And Matt, take us through your race and what went down.
Well, we started the race off, and I was trying early to get through the field. I figured I have one reset. I'll try my best until I use that reset, and I got nailed in some checkup. I nailed the guy in front of me, got nailed from behind early in the race with a wreck. And at that point, I was talking to the guys in TeamSpeak asking what speed would be competitive for single car, and I was about 10 miles per hour off it before we got into the pits, so I ended up pitting there and taking my reset. So from then on, it was about staying in the back of the pack until it was go time, until the big wreck happened at the end where I felt like, okay, this might settle down, and if it doesn't, I'm going to be in a good enough spot to be able to get to the front. And working with Jared after that second to last caution with that big wreck, I went from 20th to 8th because of all the attrition there. That I just tried as hard as I could to not blow my motor and keep Jared up there. If I had had the chance to pass him, I surely would have, but at that point in the race, it's not time to go for it yet, especially when we were with someone on TeamSpeak working with him the whole race. So man, it was crazy. Real proud of that effort.
Well, you answered about every question I had. So, Matt, what does this race mean to you to finally get yourself a podium finish and an interview like you've always wanted?
I can't really put it into words, Petey. I really can't. I've gotta thank all the boys back at BBH Motorsports for this great car. I gotta thank Victor Bartlett, Andrew Fayash, Hunter Bowles, Nick Ward, Marcus Lambert, all those guys. They're just the best out there. Gotta thank great sponsors like Bullring Racing, your league that is wonderfully ran. If anyone gets the chance, check out Bullring Racing League. It's a great street stock league, open setups, a ton of fun. I can't recommend it enough. And man, it feels good. I mean, back in the non-broadcast days, I actually took home a W in Season 1, I think it was. But to get on LSRTV, that means so much to me. It's so near and dear to my heart. Thank you, Petey.
All right, well, that's Matt Bontempi. He answered basically every question I had in two. So thank you, Matt. Hopefully we'll talk to you soon again. And meanwhile, down with second place is Evan Pasoko.
At 55, Derek Walker comes home in second position, and you started 24th. You're able to get second. Not quite a trip to victory lane. I know this one ended a little bit early, ends under caution flag conditions, so you really didn't get a fair shot at it per se. What was your plan coming down there? Those final 5 or so laps, you were in a pretty decent position, just not enough time to get the job done. We're right neck and neck when that yellow came out.
Yeah, that's right. I had Robert Lynn pushing me there, and I knew he was starting to overheat, and I was just hoping he was going to be able to last, and I was also low on fuel, so I didn't know if we were even going to be able to make it or not. But when I saw that caution come out, I looked over to the right, and I thought for sure we were ahead of him. I was just keeping my fingers crossed, but we just weren't quite there.
Obviously, this series has a win and you're in mentality for the championship, so that one position not only costs you a chance at that hardware, but obviously a chance to fight for the championship. Still 3 races to go regular season-wise, and I mean, you got to look forward to it. Daytona, Talladega, obviously swapping back and forth. What was the race like tonight? We saw an uncharacteristic early yellow, and I mean, it looked like at times you guys got really spread out, then all of a sudden in like a 2-lap period, everybody would get stacked up on each other. You'd be bouncing off each other's doors, and, you know, a big wreck would ensue. But for the most part, that 55 comes home pretty clean, and for starting 24th, it's a pretty hard thing to do after a lot of the carnage we saw.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I was actually involved in that first wreck on lap 3, and had to go down and use one of my resets there in the pits. And I thought for sure we were going to be in trouble from there on out, because starting in the back in these races, it gets pretty hairy. But when we got up there, the top 10 or 12, I believe, they were all digging. They were just hitting off of each other and doing everything they could to get to the front. And I'm surprised we went green as long as we did. But yeah, we got lucky. We worked with some good people. Like I said, Robert Lynn pushed me all the way. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have been able to even be up there in the first place. So it was a lot of fun, though.
Racing in this league, the drafting is very unique the way it works. The fact that you can't push in the corner, the very aggressive setup. Although it's not a win, picking up 22 spots from start to finish has to give you some confidence rolling forward with a few more chances to lock yourself into that championship hunt.
Almost definitely. There's some great drivers in this league, and to even be up there with them at all and get to run a few laps with them is an honor. It's a lot of fun, and definitely gives us a confidence boost going into the last few races, and hopefully we'll be able to get a W and get in the chase.
We've been taking a look at the number 55 car. I know you mentioned some names that made things possible tonight. Any other sponsors or shout-outs you want to thank?
Yeah, I just thank my sponsors, Walker Construction, Power Bottle, Luke Huffman, my teammate. We've done a lot of work this week on it, and big shout out to Robert Lynn, and also my sister back in Ohio in the freezing cold weather. My sister Shay, she was watching tonight. So big support group, and it's been a lot of fun.
All right, well, thanks for taking over to talk to us. I know it's a P2 tonight, and obviously you were hoping for more. Still a solid finish, and we'll be definitely keeping an eye for that 55 car to maybe punch through and walk away with some hardware here. Still 3 races to go.
Sounds good, Evan. I appreciate it, buddy.
That is tonight's second place finisher. The driver of the 55, again, picked up 22 spots from the start of the race. Derek Walker comes home with a P2. He falls short to only one driver, and it is the driver of the number 57. Seems like he's in the fence every week. He got wrecked in the B main. Your winner tonight, and now the 7th driver in the chase for the Season 3 championship, the driver of the 57, Jared Haggerty. Jared, first off, congrats, man. You now got a chance to fight for the big hardware at the end. You're going to get a small one tonight, but now you have an opportunity to fight for the championship. You're in the chase.
Holy crap, man. That was a run and a half. I mean, coming from 32nd all the way up through the field just to get this win, it just means so much. I got to thank every single person on my team. The 03 Richard Holiday, Elliot Leach, number 41. I got to thank Jeff Ramsdale. And most importantly, on that last run, I got to give it everything for this win to Matt Bontempi. He pushed me to that win, and I couldn't have done it without him. And man, we finally won one. Woo!
These super speedway races, you know, some people will argue momentum's not a thing. You just need to get your break. I talked about it always seems like you're the one that gets caught up in the incidents. You wrecked in the B main, fought through it all, and you had to go quite a distance to get the job done tonight. Started 32nd, pretty much in no man's land at the back of the pack. Had to fight through a long 47-lap event, a few yellows here and there. You come home on top. How did you pick your way through the field to even be in that position to have what was only about a half a car, like 4 feet over the 55 with a caution flew to take home the win?
Well, it came down to just making the right moves at the right time. We did get in a wreck really early on. I think it was the second caution. And then from there, it was just moving my way through the field. And then it came down to the caution before the last one. We had the opportunity to either go in and take fuel, which we desperately needed, or stay out and risk it. And we had to roll the dice right there, and I'm so glad that my crew chief said to risk it because there would have been no way for me to pick up that win without it. And I got to thank, again, everybody on my team for helping me make that call. I got to thank Rod for putting on this league and let me stick here for so many years. I believe this will be my 3rd year coming up this year, and man, it's been a long time coming for this win.
And you finally get it tonight, and it's in Lincoln, Alabama at the Talladega Super Speedway. Victorious, and now you can also have the opportunity not only to fight for the championship, but $50 on the I-5 bonus. You think you can make it back-to-back and take home that cash prize for our next points race?
I'm hoping. I mean, $50 would be really nice. I got a lot of bills to pay over here in North Carolina.
All right, Jared, well, before we let you go, I know you said a lot of people. Anybody else want to thank for making this possible?
Yeah, I got to thank my team one more time. I got to thank my sponsor for this year, Power Rangers Dino Charge. They're going to be coming out. Watch them at 12 noon on March 1st here coming up. And just again, thank you for Rod for putting on this league. Thank you for y'all for broadcasting us every week. And man, I'm just gonna go celebrate and have a beer. I hope y'all don't mind.
Go for it. You earned it. I know we had you as a driver analyst, so you've been in our whisper a while. So you've been in our ear, and we've been in your ear these last few races, and we know how much you wanted this. You fought for it. You got it. Congratulations, and enjoy this. Enjoy through the off season here, or rather the All-Star break, and got a lot more points racing up, and now you can kind of look forward. And also, good luck with the championship coming up.
Thank you, guys. Y'all have a good night, and go Power Rangers.
That is the driver of the 57, winning it tonight, PD. Hard fought, and we knew he'd be excited. Jared Haggerty finally breaks through to victory lane. He's in the championship. Him, along with the Rick Walker, Matt Bontempi, Rodney Wofford, and Jason Altman's $50 up for grabs, man. I think we're in the wrong job here.
Yeah, Evan, my mic broke again. I have some unfortunate news. I'm going to be driving the 00 next week.
I'm sure.
But on all seriousness, we just had a fun event to watch here, and I can't say it enough. The driver of the 57 guy who won tonight, you couldn't ask for a more deserving winner. Man, what a rough season he has. But unlike a lot of other drivers who have just given up and said, "Oh, screw this league, I'm gonna go do something else," no, he persevered, and in the end, it comes through, and he got the W. And very deserving, Jared Haggerty won the race.
And it would be a fairy tale-esque story that, sticking with it. You get a mojo after you get to victory lane. You knock off a few more of them. You start to collect the trophy cabinet and again the championship, which is what everybody wants. The big trophy. Coming up in still a few months here till it's done. This is the halfway point in the season. Race 8 in the books out of 16. After round 11, a 5-race chase for the championship. And now 7 drivers, 7 different winners in 8 races have put 7 drivers into that championship hunt. Pretty good spread. Tells you about the talent level in this league that we've only had 1 repeat winner.
Yeah, and Shane McKeechin, I mean, he sometimes you forget he's a repeat winner, man. He's had some bad luck lately, but I'm sure he'll get it around when the chase comes. And when the chase comes around, now the field will include Jared Haggerty. He's going to battle for an iSuperspeedway championship, and he'll be hanging that trophy high above his head here as he hopes to battle for this championship. And you know what? We talk about upsets this year in the real NASCAR trace. AJ Allmendinger was the one that everyone thought could maybe crash the party. Keep your eye on Jared Haggerty when the chase comes around.
He's going to be fighting forward, and he joins the class of the guys that have already qualified. Him along now with Josh Hanner, Shane McKeechin, Chaburko, Gattel, Leach, and Wofford are the 7 drivers that are currently locked in. We got 3 more opportunities to get some more drivers in there. Points going to be a factor as well. And the All-Star Open and the All-Star Race going to be right here on LSRTV in 1 week's time. No points, just bragging rights, cash, and trophies up for grabs for that one. And until then, this pretty much wraps it up from the Talladega Superspeedway. Again, round 8 in the books. Jared Haggerty, your winner tonight, finally getting to victory lane. He joins those 6 other drivers, now 7 total, in the championship. Before we step away, I want to thank everybody that made this possible. Rod Flag with iSuperspeedway for putting on the show. Check them out, iSuperspeedway.com. Going to be on air Friday nights at 7 Pacific, 10 Eastern Time as well. For myself, Evan Basoko, my cohort in the broadcast booth, PDJ Zeller, executive producer Laura Lawson, thank you for tuning in. We'll see you when we go All-Star Racing at Daytona in 1 week's time.